And one, two, there we are. Yo, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
I'm unfortunately been reminded. You know when something's fully left your mind and you're like safe in, like it's gone, like the curse has left, and
Cursed
then
knowledge.
yeah, and then someone, in our case, usually the chat says, "Hey man, don't talk about this on the podcast." And you go, "Huh?" And then your brain goes, and it just all slides right back into place.
Mm, you have one of those like mental um, tunnels through trauma moments,
Yeah,
and yeah,
because like
okay.
me and Paige, we disagree on whether or not Spider-Man should have mechanical web shooters or organic web shooters.
Oh yeah, okay,
She's
right,
like,
right.
organic web shooters are way better, and I'm like, that's stupid. And then some cursed individual says, well, if he's got organic shooters, that implies the point of like web shooter prolapse and
Yes,
him just
yeah.
quote unquote pink socking his villains.
Coming out of the wrist.
Just
A pink sock out of the wrist? Oh
uh,
no. Oh, that is pretty cursed. That's very,
and
very
and
cursed.
because someone in the chat right when we were starting up said, "Hey Pat, don't talk about that."
Oh man.
The
Okay.
whole thing and the images just fully just
Okay, look, organic web shooters are the grossest and weirdest and dumbest. This is a undeniable fact.
they're really
But
convenient when you need to film a movie.
but there is something to the thought that because I had a thought at some point which was in a world where it was always organic and then a movie came out where they made it a machine, we would call them cowards.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Can you
Yeah,
imagine that?
no.
You're right. You'd be like, "Oh, you fucking cowards! What are you doing? It's always been a part of his powers. Oh, you're just gonna make it fucking. Oh, it's technology now, right?" That would be the narrative if we lived in that world, but that's not the world we live in.
Whatever came first is the brave, and whatever came later is the coward.
I mean, there's no because it's like you either because it's like the spider is webbing out of its fucking ass, so Peter
Yeah.
would have to web out of his ass, and like yeah, if you want to go accurate Spider-Man, that costume would need some modifications.
You know what?
Heavy.
Now that you mention that, everybody is aware of what is now known as MCU fatigue. But like, you know what really like was the knife to the heart for me on that? When like four different movies across five different characters were like, he doesn't shoot webs out of his asshole, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Like they kept using that joke over and over and over for some reason.
Yeah, I it's that reminds me of the that poll that was like, "What's your favorite Spider-Man 2?" And it's like, "Oh my God, there's five of them."
Hey, so you haven't been streaming Spider-Man 2. Do you want to have a really fun time, Wooly? You type in the word Spider-Man 2 into the Twitch game search and discover
Yikes!
that you actually can't find the new
Yikes!
Spider-Man 2 without putting Marvel in front of it because there
Marvels.
are so many games named Spider-Man
Yeah,
2.
yeah. No, I thought that the Insomniac series picked Marvel's Spider-Man as their distinguisher from the
Yeah,
jump.
dude, there are like 10 different games that are
Hmm.
labeled Spider-Man 2.
Oh man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my answer is Spider Verse 2. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
My
But
favorite answer is Spider-Man 2 Too Many Spider-Men.
yeah, I don't even.
It's from Kimmy Schmidt. It's
Is
when
that
they were
was that
making
what
fun
that
of
was?
Spider-Man
Okay.
on Broadway, and it was
Oh,
called
don't
Too
turn
Many
off the dark.
Spider-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. or turn off the dark. I forget what we're supposed to do.
Whatever. Hey, didn't a bunch of people die during that fucking show?
No one died, which is why you can. I believe you can safely laugh at it. But it's like people got hurt because of how terribly rigged the fucking swinging was. As far as I understand, a bunch of people got hurt.
Lame like Peter Pan, just we. I'm on Wikipedia, as you can tell from the glare.
Yeah, no, it was obnoxious because people kept getting hurt and they kept trying again.
That's so obnoxious.
Yeah, because they were committed.
I hate that.
They were committed to the performance.
I'm trying to do my Spider-Man show, and you fucking actors aren't Spider-Man, and you keep getting hurt.
Sorry,
it's
your
so annoying.
Bitch hips are too weak to withstand the fall to commit to the role.
What do you mean the rigging's not safe? Spider-Man doesn't even use rigging.
This is Broadway. Honey, this is Broadway. If you can't deal with it, then crawl out of here and get yourself over to a fucking physiotherapist while the show must go on.
I've seen rats with better acting talent. There's one over there. He's stealing a whole pizza. Fucking New York is the strangest place in the world.
Alligators in the sewers.
I remember growing up with that as like a urban myth, and then as I got older, it seemed less myth-like.
Yeah. I don't know if there's ever been a confirmation on it, and I'm fine to live in a world where we don't know for sure. But there are definitely underground people. And there's abandoned subway stations and huge labyrinths. So I bet if you go far enough, deep enough down, without entering the Mushroom Kingdom, there's probably an alligator or two. I believe it. Anyway. Yeah. So did you anything interesting?
Well, I've been playing a lot of that. It's shockingly enough, considering our prior conversation. I've been playing the new Spider-Man game. And would you believe it? It's excellent. It's excellent in all the same ways the last Spider-Man game was.
Did he spode? Does he spode good?
Yeah, he's Spider-Man. There's only a couple things about it that are like nitpicky. You can really feel. You would probably feel a lot stronger than me. But I was talking with Gene about it when he showed up. I was streaming. He showed up in chat. You get the really overwhelming feeling that Insomniac really busted their ass and did a great job, but the game had to come out on the day that it had to come out, because I am encountering like hilarious bugs every half hour.
There's always been a handful of C-class ones popping up in these games.
I don't know, man. These seem.
Would you consider the wrong flag to be a bug?
No.
Okay.
I played it last night, and when I went to the title screen, is Miles and Peter being like, "Whoa, we're Spider-Man, right?" And I pressed start. The animations for them were at like 1,000 times the speed as normal. So they were cracked out to hell, going nuts. Then as Miles, the tutorial for his like Venom Blast broke and just skipped forward to a new scene. Then, and this is my favorite, Peter got hit with some kind of electric thing from one of the enemies that disables your abilities. And the shooting electricity effect that comes off him when he gets hit stayed on my character for like 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All the way through the mission with Peter to switching to Miles, it stayed on. And then it stayed on Miles in a cutscene in which he was not Spider-Man. Like, he switched models to the Miles character and still had it exploding off of him.
I definitely, I don't remember the specifics, but I feel like I've seen a bug where a state like that, or like a spider sense indicator or something, stuck around way too long. Yeah. There's bugs in those
When I was
games.
doing a little gimmick thing at Coney Island, I had people in the chat warning me not to sit down on a specific bench because it soft locks you by breaking the next objective.
No.
Just like it crashed on me a couple times so far. Like, for a Sony exclusive console, quadruple A, prestige, fancy licensed video game, it is very, very, very shocking to like, every time I sit down with the game for more than an hour, something like breaks. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's less funny.
I think though that like there's like AAA open world or like large map games, there's a level of bug that is expected that's gonna just show up because it's so big. Running through Tsushima, you're gonna see a fucking bird hit a tree the wrong way.
So,
there's always a little bit of that.
Is you mentioned Tsushima specifically, and I'll use Ratchet and Clank and I'll use Spider-Man 1 because those are Insomniac games. They aren't like that. They are typically like thumbs up, like clean experience all the way through. It's not like this game is not breaking. It's not bad. The bugs are often funny, but I'm encountering them a lot. Like I'm encountering them like it feels like this game came out on the Xbox 360.
Okay.
If that time period
does
anything.
I'm admittedly thinking of mostly goofy cosmetic things, but they were far and few in between. But there were a bunch of like weird, like this. I forgot what it was, but something about the fox was like weird at one point. And I played Spider-Man 1 like off recording, and I remember there being a number of like fights where enemies would just get stuck in wrong places or say the same line over and over and just be like backing into a wall, things like that. People that didn't get stuck to the right like surface for their like, oh, this enemy is glued to the wall thing, and just all kinds of little goofy small issues for sure. I'm curious about I'm curious about a feature I heard, which is you can turn up or down the swing, the auto swing accuracy versus manually swinging.
You can turn that down to 0 assistance and fall damage on.
That's interesting because the swinging has been fairly perfected for a couple games now. So to make it even harder, do you still see the grapple points?
You do, but oftentimes they're outside of your view. It basically just means that you have to be realistically within the distance that you would actually swing, and your gravity isn't going to be modified to help you out. Okay. So I've discovered that what Spider-Man needs to be afraid of is the ground, because there's tons and the perspective of like falling from a great height. You're actually much closer to the ground than you think. So I keep swinging and ending up with like the arc ends with the ground, so that I run along the ground to jump up. And it feels way better though, because you do have way more control.
Okay. You're not manually aiming at every building corner and hitting it.
No. Okay. No, but what you are doing is there's a really tall building to my left, and I want to use that. So I'll just nudge the analog stick a little bit to the left, and it'll grab onto that.
Interesting.
And going up north to Queens is like time to start bouncing off light poles and the tops of 2-story houses, because there ain't nothing tall out there.
I mean, it sounds cool because like again, the swinging has been perfected, and there hasn't been anything changing about it in a while now. But adding a little bit extra to that, I'd say it's time. It'd be fun to see if there was a different variance on control. I'm also curious if symbiote swinging has any different feels to it.
No, 0% different. It's exactly the same.
Okay.
Exactly the same. I see someone saying that I don't use the slingshot and glide enough. I don't like the game having the glide at all. So there's the wingsuit kind of
Under
thing.
like under the arm webs, underarm webs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it because what they've done is they put wind tunnels in the game that run like north to south on the two major islands you deal with, and it's like, hey, I'm having tons of fun swinging, and then I use the glide into a wind tunnel, and I'm now going like 3 times as fast as I was swinging, and it's automatic, and it's Superman 64.
Oh, you don't
because
control
I'm just trying to get through rings.
Oh, you're not actually controlling the glide.
Yeah. No, you can control the glide, but once you get into a wind tunnel, which makes it go really fast, it's kind of automated.
And what about outside
yeah, I
of
have
the
to
wind
agree.
tunnel?
Folks in the chat saying I don't think the gliding is the problem. I think the wind tunnels are the problem.
Okay.
Because when you have to get from Manhattan to Queens and you have to cross whatever shithole river that is, you kind of have to glide across it because unless you want to use the bridge, right? So you slingshot yourself and glide across. That's fun. Using the wind tunnels or the glider in the city streets when you could just be swinging, like pointless. It's silly.
Okay. Admittedly, we show up for the swing more than fly, but it's more stuff. Again,
Yeah.
swinging has been locked in good, so I can see them adding anything to it to spice it up is not a bad thing at this point.
Yeah, like I remember when I started using it, I saw people going, "Wow, it's like Batman's glide. It's really cool." I'm like, "But I'm not playing Batman. I'm playing fucking Spider-Man."
Yeah. Batman is grapple and hover. Feels like that's what his comic booky deal is. You got to do the silhouette, and then you got to go straight to the point, and then.
Now, obviously, this is my personal opinion. Blah blah blah. Jerk off. But and the gliding does feel really fantastic for what it is. I just don't care for it at all. I don't understand why it's there.
How's
when I think of Spider-Man doing a cool Spider-Man thing, I think of web swinging. I think of Thwip with his fucking cum socks.
Are the costumes rightfully enticing?
No, actually, Miles's are. Miles's costumes are fantastic.
Good.
Peter's are bad.
Oh.
Like straight up,
Miles gets all the casual like clothing on top of the spider suit type shit.
Miles gets like 3 or 4 that are like somewhat casual. He also gets his Bodega Cat outfit back.
Nice, yeah.
He's got his Daft Punk outfit on, which I have put on and not taken off since.
Right on.
Peter has like a shit ton of movie costumes, like that aren't weird. They're just, look, this is the Homeland, what's it, Homecoming suit. This is the Endgame suit. This is the other Endgame suit.
Okay. Yeah. More hoodies, more jackets, more casual clothing.
The other thing is that you get the black suit, right? You get the symbiote suit. And I thought that what was going to happen is that once I got the symbiote suit, it would now allow me to start unlocking other versions of the symbiote suit.
Oh no!
It does not.
Oh man!
It lets you switch to any of the other costumes.
That's
and I'm sure there's other symbiote suits at the very end of the suit progression.
Yeah.
When I was playing as Peter and doing side quests, I unlocked like every movie suit he's ever had, and a bunch of the I unlocked the final suit from Spider-Man 1, like the Doc Ock suit, which I used for a while. I was like, wow, great. So I got the symbiote. I'm like, oh, cool. The next suit that I'll unlock is going to be the blue Venom suit, which is the one that I like the most. The one that's black, but the shading is blue.
Lethal Protector style.
I've unlocked 0 symbiote suits since.
Because just
I'm
going
playing
off
the game for hours.
By the same logic of the movie outfits, like there's you can grab at least a handful of different symbiote Spidey versions, including like Spider-Man 3, just the dark shadow version of the
Spider-Man
regular
3 is unlocks with the regular when you get the venom on you,
Yeah,
the
okay.
Spider-Man 3 suit just is right there going, hey.
Okay. But yeah, no, fuck that. I want the oily, slicky, goopy fucking look to it. You gotta look caked up and naked.
I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but Shocker's not in the game at all.
Damn.
He's just not there. So
Damn.
that means we can't have what we want and deserve.
Honestly, okay, I wouldn't have expected that. What I would have expected is a either tweet in the tweeter thing, or a J. Jonah recreation in podcast form, where they get some bad actors to replay a moment, and then they have an actor go, you know, Shocker, you'll never get away from me. You know, like I expected would be a gag in the game as opposed to a direct scene reference in plot.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? It's if you enjoyed swinging around as Spider-Man in that first Spider-Man or that second Spider-Man, it's more Spider-Man.
Cool.
It's good. Though I will say, I don't know if this is intentional, but Peter and Harry spend a lot of time in the game and are just putting out an absolutely overwhelming amount of homo sex energy.
Okay.
Like I really don't think it's on purpose, but it's like it keeps happening. Like you okay, you and Harry go on a date to Coney Island and Mary Jane is also there.
Mary Jane happens to be third wheel. Got it. Yeah.
Right, like and it like that keeps happening and it's like, oh, okay, all right. Okay.
Did you get the Iron Spider?
Yeah.
Does Iron Spider change the way you crawl and walk around by like also attaching to no. Damn.
So instead what it is when you start the game, Peter just has the Iron Spider shit come out of his back from hammer space when he needs to do Iron Spider moves.
Yeah, that's kind of the easy way to, and that's kind of what I expected.
And
but
on some costumes that looks like dog shit because it's just materializing, and on costumes that have like little metal backpacks on the back, it actually does come out and do what you would think.
So the thing that, again, what I love about Iron Spider and like what sold me on that outfit in particular when it was introduced is how it changes the silhouette of the character and how the poses and the wall crawling and all that stuff, it also latches onto the wall behind him, or it can fold up, you know? Like, I really like that aspect of it. So it would be a lot of work, but it would be so cool to see a different series of wall running and jumping animations that incorporated it, you know? If they're out all the time, because that shit fucking looks so cool. Yeah. Okay.
What else? Oh, the game has like really bad interface spoilers. like really, 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 really bad.
Is there just like a grayed out like alt character and then grayed out Venom screen?
Wooly.
Like, fucking...
Okay, so you go to Peter's skill tree and it goes, here's Peter Parker Spider-Man's moves, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a straight line down, right? And then it branches into right and left, and right is all the Iron Spider things. Oh, use the electric webs, or have the spider attack with your arms. And then to the left is 10 abilities that are question mark. And Miles has the same thing. Okay. Like he has straight line down of Venom stuff, Venom electricity,
Venom power,
and then it has little branches to the sides that are like, I don't know what could it be.
Okay.
Interesting. And I think this game has maybe the worst big moment ruining design decision I've ever seen in anything. Because there is one cutscene about in the middle of the game where it forces you back into the default costume. There's one cutscene where you load in. I'm like, why the fuck is Peter in the default costume?
Okay.
Oh, I hope nothing dramatic happens.
Okay. No, Now that being said, right, these are all these are all have been like negative points. So I assume there's still a phenomenal
Oh, the
Spider-Man
positive
game
point is that
happening,
it's fantastic, immaculate. I just swing around for hours without doing anything at all.
doing what those games do.
And
Yes.
Yuri Lowenthal, and I don't know who the guy who voices Miles is, but he does. They do great jobs.
Yeah, they've been fucking awesome. In
these are minor foibles.
Yeah.
I think
Spider-Man.
the only one that's like of these that's actually a huge problem didn't happen to me, but Gene got stuck, couldn't finish one of the side missions, like was just completely broken until he turned like item prompt tutorials back on, because the mission had to show you the prompts in order for buttons to work.
Oof. Okay, yeah, that's an oversight. That's bad.
I also think that the game does a better job of. In the first game, the first game I felt this somewhat. In the Miles game, I felt it a little less, and here I don't feel it at all. The game gives you more opportunities to just fight like 100 guys.
Okay.
Because the enemies are tougher and they live longer, so you can do more zany shit to them. But also enemy counts in missions are actually much larger. Like you're often doing like
overall
15, 20, 30, 40. Which makes it feel great when you venom out and just fucking lay waste to everybody.
Okay. I was going to ask if it was like sequel ramp up where it's like, oh, you're used to the combat challenges and you could fight a room of infinitely spawning enemies pretty much indefinitely.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now, but it's also you have big area effect room clears.
There's a thing they did to the little indicator that shows hey when to dodge that is really strange, and I don't know if anybody else is having this problem, or maybe it's just me. But so there's like a little spidey sense that's like a white outline above their head when they're gonna get attacked, and it turns red at the last second, which is the perfect dodge timing. This game has parrying also, which is tap L1 and you block, or if you do it perfectly, if you do the perfect timing, you will like knock them down. You can go to a counterattack. There's attacks that you can only parry. You can't dodge them. You have to parry them. But instead of the color around the head going from white to red, it goes yellow to red. And when I see the red, my brain goes, oh, I should perfect dodge. And it keeps tricking, it keeps fucking me up on that over and over and over and over and over.
But if you time the perfect dodge the same on each red, it would be fine. No,
you can't dodge out of the attacks you need to parry. So like let's say there's a brute with like a big axe and he does like a slam attack.
Yeah,
he'll lift it up and the indicator will go yellow, and then it will turn red that says parry now.
Yeah,
but my brain goes, oh, I'll dodge on red, and then I get hit because I have to parry it.
I see. Okay, gotcha.
And like the coloring is on the enemy instead of on Spider-Man.
Right.
But like I spent so long learning if I see a red flash hit circle.
Yeah, okay. if it just went to a different color instead of red for both.
I'm having a really hard time. Like I actually wish it went from white to yellow so it was a different color.
Can you parry the dodgeable attacks on red as well?
You can parry damn near everything. You can't parry bullets and guns and rockets.
Okay, so if you make it
you can change it?
Oh, you can change the colors? There you go. Colorblind mode settings, perhaps? Well, I was going to say, could you also switch it to, instead of dodging everything on red, parry everything on red?
I guess you could. Is that in accessibility options? Huh. Well, I'll get back to you in a minute.
Okay. There you go.
I don't know if you ever loaded it up, Wooly, because it came out late last night. But I decided to fuck around with the Metal Gear Master Collection, Volume
No.
1, because I want to stream. I'm gonna stream all that shit because I've been waiting for a reasonable way to fucking do all those Metal Gear games for fucking goddamn forever.
Mm.
And I saw a lot of people very much complaining about the way it is on PC, and I get it. You load it up, and there's no resolution options of any kind, and there's no graphical options of any kind. And it defaults it to like 720p with like a bunch of anti-aliasing, and like that's not what you would expect for a modern PC game.
Okay, so lead platform console version dropped on PC.
Yeah, but I turned it on and fucked around with it for 25 minutes and was like, it's the games, and they work, and they run at the frame rate they're supposed to, and
Okay.
they look how they're quote unquote supposed to. I find it interesting that people are in the mixed reviews are like, just play it on DuckStation. Like, I don't want to play it on DuckStation. The whole point of buying the game is I don't want to do anything other than hit play and play it. I like emulating console games after the Super Nintendo just became such a fucking just a fucking mess.
I've gone down the road a couple times for some specific ass things, but in some ways it's gotten simpler. In a lot of ways it's gotten more complicated. But yeah, depending on the game, I'm willing to go through the bullshit. I've heard a couple things, and they were like on the list here. But one was the physical version of the Switch edition apparently only has the old games on it: Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, the NES version, and Snake's Revenge. No solid games at all. So it's just those are all just download code vouchers, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sucks. That's really dumb. Because for Switch especially, when size is an issue, if I get a physical, it's to avoid that problem.
Mm-hmm. Especially since they're old games. So,
Christ.
But
I've made the call on buying physical Switch games to not have to clear space, and this is exactly the opposite of the point of that.
Like for me, it's like I fucked around with the PS5 SKU and the PC SKU, and my takeaway is that they're fine. They work. I think there's like a single cutscene in MGS2 that's a little slow that they say they're going to patch. But like, as somebody who's been sitting here going, I want to stream these, I don't want to fucking fight a goddamn PS2 emulator for fucking a total of 40 hours before I give up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it works, and those games are incredible. So mileage may vary.
The other thing I caught was some data miners were able to see a list of games that were mentioned in the code, and that included MGS4. So,
yeah,
it seems as if perhaps a Volume 2 is going to possibly, maybe even definitely include that. Mm-hmm. So there you go. We might be that much closer to the end of the PS3's watch, and soon we'll be able to usher it into the afterlife after guarding everyone from being able to play MGS4.
It's a shame because MGS4 has been so trapped on there, but at the same time, MGS4 is the one you need to play the least because it's the worst Metal Gear Solid game.
But it's got so much dumb shit that you need. I disagree. Oh,
hold on. It's got so much dumb shit that you need to see.
Yes. And
that's why I make the distinction of it's the one you need to play the least.
God, just fucking the Grim Reaper ushering the PS3 to the afterlife. Like, did I do a good? I hear I did a good job blocking everyone from playing this game. And it's like, yes, you were the best, actually. I want to see. You do need to see it. There's because it's also because it's what is it not? Is not the game that's like 60% watch, 40% play.
It's I think it's depending on your personal skill level, it ranges between 40 to 60 and 60 to 40.
Like, and even if you go for like a completion route where you're like, let me scrape and collect everything, it's still pretty. Yeah. No.
I played MGS4 at your house while you were asleep, and started in the early evening and finished it that early afternoon the next day, and I timed it. And my play time versus watch time was exactly 50-50.
Okay.
And I walked away from that going, that seems like a lot.
That's wild. Pushing it. Fucking pushing it. Yeah. Oh,
Someone in the chat says MGS4 has great gameplay when you can play it. Yeah? What, the first 2 chapters? And then you never get to play it ever again because you're hiding in fucking Shadow Moses from fucking hand robots, or you're tailing some fucking pile of shit for like an hour.
You gotta slow it down and walk through the London streets, man. Yeah. Well, in any case, it also has like the most insane batshit Kojima lore of all of them. So it's the most mandatory for just like what the fuck is happening in this series.
What it actually has is Revolver Ocelot doing little finger guns on a boat, going,
and Raiden, and Raiden is, you need to understand what the fuck is happening with Raiden. It's that's some crucial backstory. Got to see the Jaws. Okay. Anything else?
What else?
Of note?
The World of Horror came out. You know, World of Horror came out unlike many other early access games. Like the usual like path for early access is like, it's better. Okay, we're gonna take a little break. 1.0, yay! World of Horror moved from version like 0.92F to version 1, and they added like 2 or 3 more mysteries, and it's done now. Like it is actually, like when 1.0 came out for World of Horror, I was like, oh man, I can't. Oh, it's actually totally mostly the same as it was last time. That's actually super fair and a totally normal way to play the game. But I played like this game to super completion like 6 months ago, and I just thought there'd be more.
Yeah,
it's incredible, but I early accessed it to death. Unfortunately,
you had the early,
for myself
the classic. I played the early access version with Punch Mom. It must have been 4 years ago, if not 3. Like, yeah, 2020. So that thing's been fucking slow rolling, but if it's good, it's good.
Wait, why someone say that's not the game's fault? I didn't say it was. I'm not even criticizing World of Horror. I'm talking about my personal experience with World of Horror. Which I ate too much candy before my dinner.
Yeah, that's, as I've said many a times, that's something that can happen with early access, is you can go too hard before you're supposed to. And then when the final release is out, like, well, you know, I hope you're ready for it. I mean,
I was very ready for it. I was extremely ready for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Wooly, you know, well, so that's pretty much my week. I'm going to be playing more Spider-Man. I'm going to be playing more Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate on the show. Go down to twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. But I need to talk to you about the podcast, Wooly. I've been recently informed that there are some of our viewers that would appreciate it if you turned down the racism. Is that accurate? I was told that while you were playing Final Fantasy XVI, you in fact were asked if you could tone down the racism.
Oh, no, I think it was. No, I think the line was, you made your point. Please have some tact. I think is what it was.
Oh yeah, have more tact.
At which point I promptly declared, "This is Wooly Versus. I'm sorry. Where did you think you were? We don't do that here. That's not the way this works. This is not, in fact, going to happen anytime soon." And the volume knobs have been dialed back up as I look towards the audience with a grin on my face to see what. I think that's
how's
what
FF16? You beat it, right?
Beat FF16. Did a nice big rush to the finish on that.
Did you do that last batch of quests that unlocked?
Yes. So I did the last batch of quests, and I did the super boss. Super bosses, I suppose. I did not do the icon challenges that were in the Adet Stones throughout the map. So
they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, and they buff your respective icons, right? That's what I.
No, they give you an accessory to buff the icon. It's a relatively minor boost. You mainly do them to do them,
right? And then so the thing is once I found the accessories that I liked, there's two of those that are never coming off, right? And that was the super dodge and the magic charge. They're such game changers.
They really should have not even had that fucking thing as an accessory. That should have been a regular move, because they should have just assumed that everyone was going to rock it the whole game. Every single person I know playing that game put that thing on and just never took it off.
It's crazy. The dodge is a mechanic. It slows the game down into this awesome fucking Akira slide, and it's
a way better dodge than your real dodge.
It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's stylish. It's fun. It feels good to land it. And it's so wild that you would put that on or off in exchange for other things. It's almost as if those pouch accessories. It's do you want to carry more healing items? Well, you got to lose a slot for that. You know what I mean? It's almost no, let's just upgrade the fucking dodge. That's crazy. Yeah, I really like it. So. And of course, and everything in this game the final kit makes so much of it makes sense in that. And I know we've been slow discussing this game for a while now, and there's been so much preemptively said before I have context and then afterwards to solidify it and stuff and yada yada. I'm gonna pick up on certain things you've mentioned and certain things I forget. But one thing is clear is the amount of slowdown and the amount of time you spend in these little moments of waiting are clearly there for you to get your bar back, right? I think I mentioned that last time.
Yeah.
And you feel it so much more when you have the full kit. Everything plays into everything else in a way that makes a lot of sense. You kind of learn that, I think, early on, but there's still it really isn't until Odin that you can absolutely feel that at its maximum. You're perfectly timing the 15 seconds or less for this exact moment here, and you know, Zantetsuken and everything. But yes, no, we ran through that. I wanted to get through the sessions as we were nearing the end, and of course, we got to race back to Vivi. We got to get back to the boys. So that finale. So spoiler alert for the end of FF16. Now that I've beaten it. I'm going to discuss that, and I think that'll be the closing thoughts on the matter. Maybe I was maybe my expectations, were lowered based on previous discussion, and I tempered what I thought the denouement would be. But I really didn't mind a bunch of how that played out, mainly because, of course, I love the characters, and the weakest part of it being Ultima as a personality is a major yup, you're a god, yada yada, you're a hypocrite, and
hubris
and etc. But it's I feel that all they really needed to do was just have Ultima be a better personality, like be a more compelling character, because some discussion had after the fact where like there was a lot of those like last minute side quests, which I did a bunch of the meandering ones off camera, and then I did the main ones on camera. There's some good stuff to really like, here's some characters, here's some memories with each of the crew, here's Gav, here's Sid, here's Torgal, like all these little lovable scrunkos. And McJRPG guys, actually. But anyway, no, you do all that, and then you get these like last quests of just like, by the way, like this empty dead continent of Waloed, like here is the final racisms, right? Here is the straight up like slaughterhouse orphanage of just absolute depression and fucking like soul crushing backstory, and it's like,
this place sucked really bad before you even got there.
Yeah, there's nothing more to say. You read a couple of logs about it and you're like, okay, got it. This was the fucking, the child concentration camp of the game. And it's incredibly dark and fucked in all that way. Everything that plays into the unique aspects of this flavor of racism, where you can again be born to anybody and can come from anybody. So like you can't even necessarily like hide yourself from it by like going off
racism as anti-lottery.
Exactly, it doesn't matter. You cannot create your perfect bearerless ethno state, because it can always happen to you. And then learning the history of like something that was very predictable, the idea that it's like, oh, guess what? Once upon a time, the roles were reversed. The power was held by the opposite
end. I feel like that
end.
Shouldn't have been buried so deep.
But but the idea of it was that like we need to hide this secret knowledge from everybody, lest like the uprising occur or like it break the status quo. And I'm like, the status quo could not get any worse. The literal world we live in now, where like again bearer kids are just put into fucking death factories, is the absolute worst case scenario. Nothing is worse than where we are.
I think there's a real like wild element to that final batch of side quests, because it's the old fashioned meme of like, the world is about to end, hold on just a second. And it's like, you need to get the what was it? You need to get the names of the dead kids at the orphanage. And it's like, the sky is dead.
Oh yeah.
Do you not see this? It is over.
Okay, so for me, the shit where it's like, hey man, let's get rich, go kill that monster and bring me back its skin. That's the shit where I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here, right? What, like, this is insane. But everything relating to like those types of quests, I'm all about it. I'm like, give me more, feed me that shit, right? I want to explore how you touch on this topic, seeing as there's a night, it's like, whew, that's rough. Well, anyway, before we get into the mechanics of bearer land back, oh god, there's a god we gotta go kill right over there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't spend too much time now. Hey, whoa, what? Ultima. Old scamp, let's get him, stab him in the face. No, it's this thing where I'm like, to see all these places, you're borrowing your character action, you're borrowing your from the things we know and love, and there's tons of Game of Thrones references, as we've said, and so on. But here's a sprinkle a little bit of that Attack on Titan in here for me. And you know what? I like, that's good. That's good. I like that. There
was one moment that really felt really strange to me, because we're talking about all that final batch. You talk to Josh, and the quest with Josh involves like finding your dad's will, right?
Yes.
And the big reveal is that Dad's plan was to create a new type of state.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, we're gonna try and make this work. And I thought, while I was in that cutscene, I'm like, Rosaria is gone, dude. Like, 99% of the people in that country are dead.
There's a town you turn into, like in the last half or the last third, that is like, oh, that's just all Akashic now. Actually, this town is just evaporating off the map. Yeah.
It was like, it had this like weird hopeful air to it, and I'm like, who are you guys? Like,
No,
is
I
this
think
quest not acknowledging where we are in the game?
correct, because that wasn't the point of the quest. The point of the quest was to show you that Elwyn was such a good dude. He was forward thinking.
Yeah, but
That's all it was. It was like he wanted to get around to it by establishing perhaps a series of laws to, you know, get bearers back their dignity, but then we'd have to slowly work around the bearer crow.
well,
And we'd get there eventually, but it would take a lot of time. But Elwyn had his sights set on a peaceful world, you know. But yeah, and that
said no.
And then every time he went to bed and he said, "Honey, what do you think of my plans?" Right? He had to turn over to fucking Annabella to weigh in on it. Maybe that's why it took so long. Yes, it's so wild.
Like, I'm really happy for you because you have a different opinion than I do on Barney. I couldn't stand Barney.
Yeah, and I'll get into why in a second too.
Yeah, but like that experience for you changes the whole arc of the game. Because for me, after Bahamut, it felt downhill because I couldn't stand him. I hated him so much.
Okay. I mean, Dion is so good, though. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from it. It was fucking incredible. And again, when you land there and you have that moment with Annabella, which we've described again, it's like, you know that person. You've seen that. You've experienced that, right? Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Ultima, it's like, whatever. You're the fucking... yes, you're above us all, yada, yada, yawn.
You're so great, Ultima. Wow.
But Barney's religious zealotry is also a type of person that you can meet in real life.
Yeah, a boring one.
The Wall. The one that does not understand or care about anything coming inside. It's a different version of that, like, kind of lockdown of that mom had, right? The thing with it that I ended up liking is the crack. I said it last time, but it's like the moment the mask drops for just that second, and you get that, like, your fucking true personality shining through, where like the hypocrisy that you are willingly ignoring, now you can't possibly deny it in the peak of this hype ass fucking, you know, judgment cut filled fight, is a great moment that I really, really love. And then it doesn't even linger, like, it doesn't stay. It closes back up even as he loses. He reverts back to the way he was, and again, it's been like a lifetime of this, right? And then maybe
I'm just too literal. Like, maybe that's the issue, because like as he's going on and on about his you know, it's so great to not have free will. Oh, I love it. The whole time I can only have one thought during that whole. There are like 3 or 4 scenes that he does that in, and I'm like, I know he's wrong because I saw Ultima talking like behind the scenes and Ultima talking to Clive and shit like that. So like his like ideological posturing is nonsense. Like it's
absolutely
all for him by him.
Right.
And so I'm just like bored of it. I'm like, get to the part where you do something instead of standing behind me ominously.
But the part of it that I also found interesting in terms of just where he stands, and again, this, you know, this could be this could be dismissed as hyper conjecture, but it does seem interesting if you look at a couple of the Wikipedia entries on some of the characters. They kind of things sort of start to mention the parallels of the bearer master relationship and the fact that he is the end state of the bearer master relationship with Ultima. So everything the first part of that game is about with his slaves, he is the king behind the scenes that has control over his dominion, knows what's happening behind everything, and ultimately decides, yeah, fuck it. I don't even want to exist as an individual. I don't even want the slight freedom I could have. I want to just give in and give my will up to what I consider to be a perfect master, right? That is the, like, when it's like, if you take this relationship that the whole first part of the game about to its natural conclusion, this is the end goal, right? But then even he can't necessarily truly be that to completion, because it's obviously a flawed and fucked up way to be, which Clive points out to him, hey, you fucking hypocrite. From the jump, this has been your decision to choose to not have one, right? And then everything about the entry for Mythos and Logos and all that shit with Ultima also basically implies that it's like, yeah, I want to turn the perfect Clive body into another perfect bearer, right? Like, so I that bit of just taking, you know, what is the slavery bit, which is the most compelling aspect of the early story, and extrapolating it to just like, and now we have the humanity as the bearer and so on version of it, is like, I'm like, okay, I see how that represents it as a whole. It's still like, by going beyond the relatable human evil, it still becomes less of a priority because we've seen it in other things before.
Yeah.
But I get that's what they were going for in terms of representation of the idea, right? Mirroring the concept on a large scale at that point. I just, the main thing I stand by is that, like, yeah, with Ultima representing that, like, the final master, you know, he could have just had a more compelling personality. He could have said more interesting things, had more to say about all of that.
Like, he was going for, like, subdued, invincible, right? Like, like, so invincible he doesn't even care, which, like, can work. Yeah, I guess it's just to taste, because, like, I just turned my brain off whenever he started proselytizing. Because, like, if Ultima had not shown up, or, you know, or had not been, like, a really because Ultima's, like, fairly active. Like, you talk to Ultima, you run into Ultima, Ultima tells you his bullshit, and you kind of figure out what the deal is.
I mean, he's sprinkling crack on the bodies. Right? He's traumatizing little kids from the jump.
If Ultima was not around, and, like, Barney was doing his cult shit, the lack of free will, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't already know, like, my big problem is that I know that every single thing out of his mouth is bullshit before we start. Yeah. And so I'm in this situation where I'm like, why is Clive even listening to him at all?
You know what could have been interesting is either create, like, it's because it's almost like the Ultron issue, right? Where is it where James Spader? Yeah, where he's like, great actor, awesome in Sex, Lies, and Videotape, awesome in The Office, but cool voice guy, love him as a personality, not interesting at all as an MCU villain, just doesn't work, right? And knowing that that's the personality they're going for, it's like, oh, well, in other contexts I like it, but here it's just not landing. And it's that issue with Ultima. It, like, what, as you're describing that, I was like, imagine a setting where you had that zealot Barney going off in the way he did, but he never had confirmation that God was real, you know? And then, like, you could have a last minute Final Fantasy, oh shit, he is, but, like, the question
real. But the question, wasn't making it up.
But if Ultima was never answering for the entire time, you know, that could have been a way to play it, where a complete absence of a fucking deity, you know, would have been another route. But it gets to the same conclusion ultimately.
This is a really minor nitpick, but it is fun to say. You remember that cutscene where, like, he just bodies Jill like she's nothing, like, just
the boats.
No. When you leave and Jill's like, I got this, right?
Oh yes, yeah. After
and then he just bodies her in like a second.
Yeah.
Then you get her moveset.
Yeah.
And you're like, Jill, what are you doing? I used her moveset to beat him.
Hey, plot moves are different from in-game moves. Plot fucking slash plot Zantetsuken is unstoppable, undeniable, toppest of top tier, right? Shiva ain't the same in action. That being said, I was wondering the whole time, I was like, do they still have access to it? Did they give it up completely? What do we got here? And it's like, oh, no. They kept it. You know, Dion can still do it a little bit, and so can she.
Just a little.
But they also run the risk of losing control, right? Because they don't have a fully...
Yeah, they could go nuts.
They're not fully dominant, so to speak. Yeah. anyway, so but no, ultimately, you know, and I still think the strongest bits were just like, all right, your crew, the people that you're running with as a whole, and then the beginning of that final fight is like just a goddamn cutscene sequence that
Oh
you
yeah.
watch with an experience meter that pops up at the end hilariously.
I hope you took the epilepsy warning in the instruction manual seriously.
But yeah, you know, it did the thing, and Clive said the line. He says the fucking line.
Hey, so we're going to talk about the biggest spoiler in FF16 right now because I want to talk about it. Wooly, FF16 is a story built on what if any child could be born as part of a lower class, which is subject to racism, prejudice, abuse, etc., right? And what do you do in that society? And the game's ending goes, I know how we can fix this. What if we just make sure that class will never exist ever again?
Now,
And I don't know how I feel about that ending.
the Clive sacrificing himself to make the real world, right, is like, it reminds me, here's the thing about it, it reminds me of Kreia, right? It reminds me of the, like, fuck this goddamn setting, this is bullshit, and the thing that we have, the shitty world we live in, is actually the one we aspire to, because everything that you in your IRL would find cool about our world is our problem, right? And it is, I find that's an interesting read and way to play it versus the version of let's defeat racism in Mass Effect, which is actually, no, now we are all one and the same. You know, there is it's subtle though it may be. It is a difference between the these two interpretations of it, because, like, yeah, one is a world with this actual bullshit asymmetrical magic that you're talking about, the mutants that actually have world-ending powers. You know,
yeah, no. Clive says no more blue eyes. I've solved it.
In a world where Blue Eyes all had, like, again, reality fucking editing capabilities, you know?
Mass Effect says blue eyes for everyone!
Everyone! Yes! That's the bit, right? Humongous difference to me. So I will take the setting that in a Kreia-esque way is like, yeah, this is asymmetrical and bullshit, and fuck that. You're getting the shitty real world we live in. I will take that. I will absolutely take that. As opposed to your thoughts have been overwritten.
Yeah.
Fire the green laser. You know. So close, but not quite the same. It is in fact I don't know what they could have done, but I imagine a world where they go, well, now we've got a lot of work to do to change people's hearts and minds.
Yeah,
would have been the biggest fucking eye roll in the world.
You know what? Hey, listen, Sally Mae. I know you've been afraid about bearers, and I am aware that the War of the Dominance, or whatever the fuck they would call the historical event that just happened, did scorch the sky, destroy your city, and kill most of your family. But we're gonna all work together now. Like, I don't think she's gonna go for it, man. KOTOR is such a good example. KOTOR 2 has the best version of this, where everyone you run into says, oh, the Jedi Civil War. And you go, they're not Jedi, they're Sith. And people go, whatever.
Who cares, man?
I don't care.
Yes.
It's all you stupid laser wizards blowing up our planets.
And at bare minimum, the, all that shit with fucking turning to stone and all that. It's like, okay, so you extend a couple lives in this process. Yeah, because they pull out every single stop they can in case they forgot about any towards the end. They're like, oh yeah, the dead bodies of the kids who turned to stone. Just crush them to dust immediately. Get them out of here. Let the real shove the real bodies in a proper grave. You know, just when that happens. But we can't be having these ones. You know, like yeah, they it's like just every single possible fucking horrendous route is already occurring. So, like I said, to me, the status quo of this world cannot get any worse. We are starting at the bottom. You know?
So I got messaged by Dead Asana as we were having this conversation, and they made a pretty good point, but I don't know if it's fair or not because I agree with it completely. But I don't know if it's fair. Like, it feels unfair, but I don't know. Because these people made FF14, and the analogs are very, very, very clear. All the way down to Shiva being useless. That also happens from the same writer.
Okay.
Shiva's useless, but the cool blonde guy with the spear saves the day in the same thing. Like it's there's a lot.
Damn.
And Asuna pointed out to me that one of the issues with Ultima is that Ultima is incredibly similar in goal and plot and characterization to a different character that you actually get to hang out with for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in 14 and gets to characterize exactly how apathetic they are to you being alive over a very long period of time. You get to have a conversation with one of the villains in which you go, what, so you don't feel anything when you kill me or kill any of my friends? They go, well, I don't even think you're really alive. So no, you're such a lower form of life that I wouldn't be guilty of murder because you're not even real.
Okay.
As like a pleasant conversation. And now that I've seen that, I can't unsee it.
Okay. So it's a similar but more compelling because you get more time to sort of establish
you get way more time.
But it's
Ultimate kind of hangs out in the distance a lot.
But and to be fair, more time usually, you know, benefits in this type of situation. But I would say it's not fair, not just because of the fact that 14 is fucking 14 and gets to have that breadth, but I would say it's less relevant because it's not even about screen time because fucking I think I was saying this in the LP actually, but characters like Dion and your Byron, it don't exist outside of cutscenes, but are still fun parts of the story that I fondly remember. You know, they like if you were to press start to skip every cutscene, they wouldn't exist in the gameplay, right?
Byron is there
following you around in Dalamil.
And he helps you fight those dudes next to the boat.
Yeah,
that one time.
Yeah. So, but point being is that these are fucking awesome ass characters that do a lot with very little screen time. You know, compared to like Jill, who's around a whole bunch, but
I'll tell you what
has less going on towards the end, especially after her point is made.
I'm gonna use the ultimate Final Fantasy villain metric that I know, which is I have not seen any fan cams of Ultima or Barney to K-pop since that game's release.
Sure. All that Dion, all those sparkles.
I have seen them for Dion.
Can't get enough.
I've seen them for Emmett, Elidibus, etc.
Yote deserves one.
Not for Ultima or Barney.
Definitely. Yeah, you can do more with less. Ultima having more scenes to talk about all that in compared to the character you're describing might help him, but ultimately I think just different person entirely. Throw it out. Different cat.
You know, I feel like in my gut I want to say, like, you know who should have been behind it all? Dion. And that whole sequence should have been the fucking end of the game.
and then we just go back to that same, like, yes, peak Dion credits roll, etc. No, anyway, all the I think, but that's pretty much it. Like, what Ultima represents, I'm fine with. What Barney represents, I'm fine with, and what Barney, how he plays out towards his finale, I'm fine with as well. It's really just the thing you're doing these sick combos on at the end is who cares? But hey, Clive is cool, and he's doing those combos, and you know, I do like Josh. Like I like Josh. It took a couple times, but I do
right.
He's all right, but my favorite thing about Josh is every time Clive is like, "It's time for me to go be a hero." Josh is like, "Will you shut the fuck up, you stupid asshole? You don't have to go and brood alone. People care about you. Stop trying to be this fucking I'm gonna go die. It's all on me." You know, like I appreciate the stern, like, you know, stop trying to be the fucking protagonist.
Stupid.
Yeah. You need someone like that. So that was fun. That was good. And, you know, in terms of the only other thing I guess I'd say about it is I can see how I think it's one of the major complaints is like, hey, I wish you could go right to Final Fantasy difficulty from the first.
Oh man, I would have enjoyed that game so much more.
For sure. You know, and I can see as well how, like, for me, like, I didn't just go into like a you know, 6 magic burst sequence things, but I wanted to keep some games. I wanted to keep boots on the ground, so to speak, with the game, and I did definitely have some fights where I was like, "Oh shit, this is cutting it close," you know, like, and yeah. I think looking back on that too. Oh, sorry, I just.
Oh no!
Got a message. Every time looking back on it, I was like, oh, I think like part of the way I was playing too is like, there's moments where you are supposed to like just stop and be defensive, so to speak. You don't have to if you're super on point with your recovery timing and your cooldowns and your freezes.
But
and all that shit.
The guy's gonna be super aggressive for a little bit.
And the way I love playing is parrying and fucking dodging and, you know, using the defense into offense scenarios. So I'm always trying to cycle back to that fucking on impact whenever I can. So in order to do that, you're kind of like...
Parry is really hard compared to your other defense options.
The timing of everything is so forgiving, and there it's actually just what it should be, right? Is what it feels like. But... shit, where was I going? Oh, yes. So, in a way, it's like, but if it reminds me of how in action games and character action games as well, like if your goal is to kill the monsters, then the games are brain dead easy. If your goal is to be stylish, well, now you've set a fucking wall. And if you increase the difficulty while still setting that goal of being stylish, you have a different thing to accomplish, right? So, like, I'm like, yeah, I want to achieve the stylish result more than I want to live.
Right.
You know, I need it. And I'm going to go for it when I can. And fuck me up. Like, I missed that shit. Time to use an elixir because my life bar is annihilated by the final fucking blow. But
I don't.
Yeah.
So if you got to start on Final Fantasy, I think that would make a massive difference for people like me. I feel like they could put out a patch that would fix like the game's, like, I guess second biggest mechanical issue was like, I think maybe the balance on different icons could be adjusted a little bit because fucking Phoenix and Ifrit or compared to fucking Odin, it's like or Shiva. Like, as you go through the game, they just start getting stronger and stronger. And it's like, I feel like Phoenix or like Garuda could get like a nudge. Or all of them could get a nudge in various directions.
The biggest glow up to the system for me would be mapping icons to the D-pad.
Yeah.
That would be it, right? The cycling is the thing that fucked me up the most every time I made a mistake. It was
It
because
took me a long time, especially because when you switch them out, they go to different positions.
Exactly. And then your brain is like, okay, I put this over here. And then you double tap to get back to where you were, or single tap. And then like, just let me get right to the styles on my D-pad, please. Yeah. It's, you know, and I mean, I believe I said the same about Dante, even when cycling through the guns, right? Like there's things where it's like, yeah, I don't need healing on that wheel and Torgal over there as well. Torgal and healing could be relegated to holding a button and pulling up a 6 fucking short prompt, you know what I mean? To pick something real quick.
I think the game would be a lot more fun if, okay, follow me here. Ultimates, when you unlock the ultimate, it becomes available and it's the button plus circle. Right? Instead of replacing an existing move on triangle or square, the ultimate you get for whatever becomes icon plus circle. And cut the power of everything, all your regular moves, in half, but make the cooldowns way faster.
Oh, we already talked about this a couple discussions ago, and the solution is replace semi-prime with the ultimate of the style you're on.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. We did have that conversation.
Yeah. You semi-priming into a DT is cool for Phoenix or Ifrit, and then when you switch to another thing, you get a completely different thing that uses the DT bar. That should have been it.
I don't know if I mentioned it at the time, but it kind of reminds me of Destiny, where for a long time Destiny had this thing of like, okay, well, you're playing a shooter, but you're playing a class in your shooter, and what's your class do? Oh, it changes how your grenades work, it changes how your jump works, it changes how your melee works. But they're on like minute-and-a-half long timers. So, like, for 99% of the time, you're kind of still there's no real difference between Titan or Warlock. And then as the game went on, they shortened those up, and they shortened those up, and they shortened those up, and you could equip things to make the cooldown go faster. And it's like, I want to hit my good buttons more.
That's it. And when you have, like, okay, every icon has a dud that's just never going to fucking get in there, right? But when there's two and you're like, oh, but this one's got the edge, well, we're going with that, right? And it's like, yeah, I'm going to do fucking sword dance and rift slip all fucking day.
Odin's moveset is really funny because they're all good.
But
two of them are so much better than
like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? What the fuck are we doing here? Like, those are on. They're on and they're in forever. But that's it. But if you were to be able to put that on, you know, your semi-prime, then you could at least play a little bit more with the prop shredder kind of Danse Macabre thing, you know? And it just, then you have your fucking stinker that you just do, you know, you say fuck that thing, but at least you get to play more often with the other two, for sure. Anyways, that's the final thoughts on it, really. A couple other things too.
You gotta get on Stranger Paradise now.
Yeah. I think Min said he's like, oh, Stranger Paradise should have been FF16 and 16 should have been the side bit.
I feel. Funny, I don't know if I agree with that, but I would actually have to sit there and think about it.
Okay, it's not an instant yes or no.
Stranger Paradise is really good.
There's a discussion to be had there.
It's really so. Okay, I said this the last time we talked about the two of them. All of my complaints about FF16's gameplay disappear when I talk about Stranger Paradise.
SOP.
All of my complaints about Stranger of Paradise's narrative structure disappear when I talk about FF16.
Interesting. Although Final Fantasy fans would, because Stranger of Paradise is a reference-heavy send-up to a lot of other Final Fantasies, would you want a proper mainline titled Final Fantasy to be a referential-heavy thing, as opposed to building its own world like the rest of them do?
They kind of are all already really referential.
Well, referential is like you're going to see the icons or the eidolons or whatever you want to call them. And 14 is 14. That's different. But yeah, 14 is an MMO that goes on forever and has heavy reference to all of them, right?
And it also does things
in terms of the ones that are.
Do you just want to redo FF4?
Yeah, in terms of 14 didn't even have to be named 14. Let's be real. It stands out so different from every other thing in the franchise, right? But like in this terms of the and minus 11, but in terms of the ones that are just like the offline stories, would you want that, or would you want it to mainly always have its own identity?
No, it gets to be a spin-off. It's obviously hyper-referential in its spin-off nature. Like, you'll do a mission, and you're like, this is the level from FF7. Right?
I think it would be
it
would be weird.
But Stranger of Paradise just has better, like, I'm gonna fucking fight my ass off against chaos energy with like a proper action game for action game weirdos.
It's interesting that there's a discussion to be had. That is interesting. But yeah, so that's it though. Couple other things as well. So this week, here's something. I went fishing.
You went fishing?
I went fishing.
You catch anything?
I didn't catch anything, but it was fun. And my
your feet up?
I didn't. It wasn't in a boat. It was on a dock. So
okay.
On land, and I do enjoy the the basic meditative, slow, learn to perfect the cast, kind of like roteness of it. It's relaxing and it's a very fun thing to do. It's interesting too how like. Go ahead.
That's all right. When I was a kid, I didn't understand why my dad liked fishing because it was so boring. And now that I'm almost 40, I'm like, I could go for fucking boring right now.
Yeah. I also noted that like the reels, like some on a good rod are similar to the reels on a good kite, and there are funny enough.
Wooly. If you get a fancy lure, it's like there's a kite underwater.
Yeah. No, there is a similarity to that kind of pull that is worth noting. However, and that's just for anyone who's like, oh, kiting arc over. It's like, fucker, never. That ain't the case.
No, you're kiting in the sea.
But I do enjoy it, and the main takeaway, if anything, was that the fishing video games have lied to me because. Fishing,
they're exciting and shit?
They're not even the exciting. No, not that. I know that fishing is meant to be a slow, just, hey, calm it down, take your morning nice and easy type of vibe. The fact that in fishing games, there's a whole lot of, like, pretending your lure is a fish through different methods of, like, slowly reeling, kind of letting it sink, pulling it back up, fucking around, dancing, shaking your ass a little bit before you get bit. All of that is horseshit. When in reality, it's a cast and then just back in and cast and back in. You don't have to play this, like, shake your ass game, like the way video games do. Yeah,
fish are stupid and they don't know better.
Yeah. I'm certain that advanced fishermen can tell me all the tech about, which cases that is called for, but in this, fly fishing is definitely where you stand in the fucking thing and then you do the whole bit where it's so like skilled because you have to really like whip the surface and get it to simulate a real bug by going just in and popping it back out. Like that shit's so fucking, it looks so hard. But the type of fishing that we were doing in this particular instance was not the type where any like lure play was involved. It was just like, in and out. And that was a nice, simple introduction, if anything, because I had done a little bit of fishing as a kid. Again, there was like, I'm not counting fucking standing over the creek and doing catching crayfish with your hands like this in Grenada with an actual rod and shit. Like I'd only done it like, maybe like once or twice going camping before. And my brother managed to like catch one. And I feel like when he did, it was like, oh, that kind of locked in. Like, I was able to do it. And like, I was a little brother, so I didn't really even get a proper rod. I just got like some bullshit and a fucking rope, and I was just I was just kind of like mimicking activity. Yeah. And I never caught anything, certainly. So I didn't get to feel any of that success. So I was kind of like, well, okay, whatever, but coming back around to it now, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And each time I did it, I was like, oh, I can see I went too far overhand or too far backhanded. You needed to like release, a little bit more early during the thing. And so it's like just this, it's kind of like bowling, we're just like, oh, you got to really get muscle memory perfect on the cast, the release point, you know, with the rod, and don't overshoot it and stuff. And that felt like I could stand out there and do that, you know. And you know, I'm a city kid, so I mean, I don't have access to fucking fishing just out back, you know. But it is something that is fun. It's fun. It can be meditative for sure. I dug it. Okay. What else? So yeah, the weekend Tekken 8 beta happened, and I jumped in just to mess around a little bit and see if I could get some time in with Azucena, the coffee girl. And yeah, she's cool, man. I really like her. Her vibe is super fun. I'm happy to see the fucking one new character in this game, available in this demo. And I guess first thing, there was a misconception about the online mode, because I think when they showed off the little Avatar World Tour-ish looking Battle Hub moment thing, it was like, oh, this is like an offline single player only thing? And like that was kind of
I was not clear what the fuck that was at all.
Yeah, and a lot of people were typing single player only, you know, and that's just not true, because you make the character and you go into an online battle hub, and it's just a battle hub. You can sit in a cabinet and all that is there. In terms of the what was it? The actual matches I didn't get to play as long as I did before, so I didn't get a full day or anything. I just got
How are the matches?
I had like 2 bad matches out of maybe 30. So, you know, I had more experience the first beta around, so I didn't experience a ton of rough ones. I did have some Wi-Fi fucking red and yellow bar connections that like managed to play out, you know, that I didn't feel a ton of problems with. But again, I just didn't get as many matches this time around as I could before. So I'd feel uncomfortable like making the call on it from just the few that I got, you know. But yeah, the Battle Hub thing is kind of there, and you can do that as a means of getting casual matches or ranked, you know, when you sit at a cabinet. And yeah, I was playing on PS5, notably. And then yeah, in terms of just like the actual character, I wasn't sure what to expect in terms of I was like, oh, is she gonna be all dodge heavy? Am I gonna get like another Steve Fox type of thing where she's got all these cool little movements and shit?
I don't know if that'll be the case.
No,
is it?
So the trailer, I wasn't too sure, and it's like, no, that's not what she gets. But she is really fun in that her dancing is heavily incorporated into her move list. She has lots of like moments where she goes into like a whole like dance sequence and actually like moves in and out and can sidestep around you while doing a little jig, you know. And she goes into like a counter stance where when she's doing it, if you swing at her, she can counter a high, a low, or a throw, or she can do specific moves out of that stance. But there's a little moment of like, uh-oh, what do? I'm in your face. And when you do the heat version, she like dashes from really far up and has this moment of panic in a way. And it's interesting because I'm like, it's actually it's not at all the Steve Fox kick buttons. It's Marissa's Scootum. It's okay. It's almost like she goes into the stance of like, what are you going to do? Do you do something? I might counter it. If you don't do nothing, I'm going to do something and that might hit you. You might have to block. So there's a moment of, oh, fuck, you know? And I do like when characters have that. This is a much more obscure reference point for it, but if anyone played KOF 13 Duolon, when he teleports up in your face and you have a jump scare, it's
right,
a little
okay, yeah,
yep. It's a little bit like that. But yeah, and then, you know, in terms of the move list and such, like, again, she had all the things you'd expect her Tekken character to have, the launchers, the mids, some good strings, a couple of things that, you know, I don't think I could go as in-depth as someone that is not as, I can't tell you if she tracks better left or right walking with her mids, you know, like as a Tekken player would. I can say something about this demo that is very interesting, though, is the decision they made to... the way Korean backdashes are like handled now it's a genuine improvement. I'll say this is like
they changed it?
Yeah, so I've like Tekken 8, like, you know, there's been I've been like, yo, please get some more new stuff coming, please show some stuff, you know. And one thing about that has been, for anyone who's unfamiliar, in Tekken, there's a lot of the game has moves that come really far forward and like can juggle you and are very aggressive. And backdashing, just getting out of the situation, is very slow. So if you just mash back as fast as possible, your character goes
it's not great.
And that's as fast as they can get away, right? So to circumvent that, Korean backdashing is the tech that exists, which is where you see like someone they dash back and then immediately like sidestep cancel until they go you know, and it's a
kind
more
of wiggle
advanced
away.
form. They wiggle away from you, yeah. And when you see the meme with Infinite Azure and Kazuya doing it too, I forget which VTuber. That's the weird movement he's doing, right? Anyway, so what they did was they made it so that instead of having completely non-functional backdash speed versus tech that you need to learn and execute to get away from stuff, now regular backdashing is significantly faster. Which
that's okay. Yeah, you solve it.
So now you can actually move really quickly away from things. It's quite a good bit faster. It's like right. But if you do the Korean backdash input, if you do the tech that's been there, you're still way faster. You know. So it makes it essentially it brings the whole thing up. So it goes from a useless thing and a super useful thing to being, even if you don't do the tech, you still can get away from offense in a decent manner, and then you can use the Korean backdash tech if you really want to be like god tier about your movement. And this is important because a lot of the game's new mechanics involve shit that flies up in your face from full screen, jump scares, right? The heat system. So yeah, that's a good change they've made. Anyway, waiting for more. We'll see what happens, but I want to get more time on it. But as far as this new character goes, it's fun. She's got her new stage with the Peruvian coffee ads popping up, and she's posing and doing all that. Very charming. I like her a lot, and like I don't know what the word is. Maybe someone could translate, but there's something she says every once in a while when she kind of is like doing a little like, hey, come on type of thing, or with certain moves where it sounds like she says pussy, and it's I don't know what it is, but Punch Mom was like, what are you playing up there? What's going on, right? And I was like, no, she's Peruvian. Stop. What? No, stop it.
It's different. It's a different language. Probably means hello.
Okay. Facile, easy. Okay, facile. Okay, that's what it is. She says it a lot, and it just I was like, right. New characters are fun. I love new characters in games. It's great. All right. Other thing from this week. Hey, I finished One Piece.
You. My brain just completely failed when you said that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you read 1,070 chapters? Oh, right, the show. Right.
I watched the live action show to completion.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. I've read all of it. I did that first season, and it was a lot of fun. It was very good. It takes all that fucking drug ass clown hijinks and non-pirate bullshit that we're talking about, and that's all fine and dandy. And here comes Fishman racism.
Oh yeah.
Boy, the subject matter is here it comes again.
So maybe I'm remembering it wrong, because it's been a long time since I watched Arlong Park in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Arlong being like, he was always like a fishman supremacist, but I don't remember him being like, I'm gonna take back this world for the fishman. I'm the true hero. Like, he just seemed more like a fucking asshole.
Yeah. So that I am curious about how much of the original Arlong did carry this energy, because he definitely reads almost like a Luke Cage villain.
He was like that? Oh man. Wait.
Okay. Because
Hold on, I love this thing where I go, was it like this? And you look over and go, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And he was always black coated. That was always the.
No, he was not black coated.
Oh, okay.
That's new. That's definitely new.
Oh, okay.
He was blue before.
Because, yeah, like, they are just going for it. Yeah. And, you know, he's fucking evil. And he's he's riling up all the fishmen by referencing like horrible injustices off camera and how fucked up the Marines are and how bad it is, and literal fishman slavery was just outlawed a minute ago.
That's why we need to eat these human children, guys.
And you're like, whoa, okay, that's what's up. I see. Now, yeah, that was a definite like, ooh, huh, all right, we're going there. The hilariousness of like from the way he's introduced, again, this is brand new eyes. From the way he's introduced, I can tell that Mihawk is a badass in the original show.
Mihawk
in the original
is top of the world.
Right? Is a supreme badass, and that moment is definitely like, yo, this dude's for real though. But because of the way the costume looks and everything about it, you're like, but he might also be a goofy vampire joke man.
Well,
right?
He's not a joke man, but he is. His name's fucking Dracul Mihawk.
Dracul Mihawk, right?
He is a Dracula.
So I'm like, you are a badass, but also you might be a punchline. And let's watch more to see what's happening.
I think what you're describing is the One Piece art style.
Yes.
Made manifest.
But he's coded badass, right? But you're looking at the version of, you're looking at the real guy with the fucking, you know, he's got the eyes, but then he's got the insane facial hair and the hat and the, you know, and he's, yeah, the like Wolfwood cross fucking on the back bits and everything.
People are pointing out that he lives in a Dracula castle.
There you go, right? So, yeah, and then of course, you know, by the time he rolls through again, you're like, oh no, you're meant to be deadly fucking serious, and if anything, you're hinting at the, you know, the classic shonen, the level above the dumb kids that we follow, right? There's the old guard, but then there's the fuckers that are like just in adulthood now that you don't touch, right? And
yeah, from what I watched and read of One Piece, I found it really shocking that like Zoro. Okay, what's Zoro's goal? Become the best. Well, that's kind of vague. So we'll introduce the best, and it's not like maybe this guy's pretty good and there's stronger guys out. No, he's the guy.
Yeah. So they
that one beat him.
Yeah, they've established it. They made it right quick. They got, you know, they did that, and I'm like, okay, see what you're doing there. And you know, appropriately, like even when that bit ends and they go back to other significant challenges, they don't feel anywhere near the level.
Arlong's punk, man.
Arlong, and even fucking Gorp, you know, Garp.
Yeah, Arlong is a fucking punk who couldn't hack it on Fishman Island in the Grand Line.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, even fucking Garp, who's like heavy hitting. He's a badass too, but like gap, you know, of discussion before you even get to the Elite Four, right?
Garp is really funny to me because it shows what One Piece cares about, and the answer is things being fun. Because like I was talking to somebody, I'm like, okay, so Luffy's, you know, he's a stretchy man, and you know, Zoro's a fantastic fighter, and Sanji's got his shit, and Usopp lies, like, but what's Garp's thing? What's Garp's deal? How come he's so strong? Oh, because he's old.
Yes.
And he's a tough guy.
Yes, and he has
and
heart.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. That determination will carry you all the way through. Now, the thing that I'm not sure translates is, so I'm able to I'm able to, like, I'm looking at what we see of the fights, and I'm trying to intuit, like, what they would look like, right? So I'm able to discern, obviously, sword fights are sword fights, and they're doing cool anime sword things.
Yeah.
And I can tell that Sanji's fighting style appears to be kickboxing or capoeira style. Like
it's like exclusively kicking.
Right. That seems to be his deal. He's doing that.
The way that I always intuited it is the reason why he wears a suit and always kicks is so that he can have a bunch of action scenes with his hands in his pockets.
Right. There's more than enough moments of that to be like, okay, that's what I pick up. I didn't the first time he fights, and the second time, in fact, and when they do the bit at his restaurant, I didn't take that to be a clear thing. Whereas I think in an anime or in a manga, it would become extremely clear, like, oh, his gimmick is his foot.
On his action shots get real long. They get like disproportionate, non-human long, like Bayonetta legs.
And so you can tell someone's fighting style gimmick from the jump in manga and anime, right? So that's what. So when it gets to, so Luffy's kind of like, just kind of scrapping, but using his Gumu Gumu shit. But like,
what if Reed Richards boxed in his youth?
Yeah, but like outside of that, it's just scrapping, and I feel like the same, and Usopp is fucking throwing his
lying,
he's running and lying and insanely lying.
Battle
and like
style is the lie,
and the slingshot. But most importantly, let's feel good about his lies. Let's let him. Let's go, man. Your lies are great. You should feel great about it. He's like, oh, thanks, guys. You backed me up on my lies. Fucking ass.
I'm crazy about Usopp and the live action. Like going out of its way to be like, yeah, Usopp like killed the third strongest guy at that in that fight. Like he's dead. Like that his body like ragdolls. Like you don't get to see the ragdoll in live action very much, but he like
he and then lands in smoking crater corpse. Yeah.
And then you get to have your fun moment of he's like, yeah, I got him. Oh, no one believes me? Okay, I got all of them.
Right.
I got everybody. I beat up Arlong.
And you know that like him landing that is like not at all. It's not that shocking because like Zoro couldn't fucking discombobulate everyone fast enough, right? Right over there, there's like intestines not hanging out. But when Arlong is swinging and fighting, I'm like, is Arlong's fighting style also just a brawler, or in the anime? Did he do more sharky things? Did he bite more?
He's a big, strong man.
Okay, he's just swinging hard, and that's kind of the deal. Okay, and similarly, with Garp, not Gorp.
You keep saying Gorp.
I don't know. My brain says Gorp because it goes to Momorpaga.
Okay, yeah.
And similarly with Garp, he just appears to be
he's an old guy,
old heavy scrap, right? That's it. Yeah, no real style gimmick. Per se, right? Yeah. Okay. Nami is I hit you with the stick.
And then later on, her stick gets weird, stupid shit on it that she used her brain with because she's the smart one.
Okay. Because I guess that's I guess one thing is like I was wondering if like we would and you know you'd see like you know the not Clanahan, the butler. It's something close to that. Anyway, he's got his he's got his very clear, like they're like all cat
Kuro of 1,000 Plans. There you go.
And they're fighting in their cat motif. But the question as to whether or not like is he supposed to be fighting like a street shark, you know,
a little bit.
Or Armagon. But yeah, anyways, it was fun. And I mean the the level of where like Luffy's like brain is just like not computing the situation is just like it just amplifies, and you get these moments where he just has his, like, again, it's the anime, like, spunk, but when Sanji walks up and is like, hey, I heard you guys are looking for a cook, and he's just like, yeah, fuck yeah, like, wow, like, he's just in his own world. It's insane, you know. And then later on when they unveil the fucking the Jolly Roger, and it's like he just, like, the world does not exist around him. And I guess we're gonna put our confidence in him because he's done some cool shit and he believes in the me that believes in you.
He believes in your dream.
But also, like, there is nothing to show that everyone isn't going to get killed constantly all the time. You know, except for that belief, which again is the very...
No, Wooly, he believes in your dream.
And Usopp's dream is falling all over the floor and rolling down the stairs, and he's
Usopp's
chasing it with
like
his ass
actual
out.
little backstory kind of got cut up a little bit. Like they go into it a little bit, but you know he says, "I'll be a brave warrior of the sea." But the actual thing is like his mom would always tell him, "Your dad left to go be a brave warrior of the sea." So he's a hero, really.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where he's at.
Yeah, I was wondering if it would be that or like I'll be the best, you know, ship runner or something like that to that effect. Okay. There's when they do the Arlong Park like backstory bit as well. Like it definitely like when Nami kind of runs up and then it's just like, man, fuck this. What's it all for? It was a bit odd because
I love it.
So I was assuming she did that in response to like seeing the city on fire, and then like, oh, he just fucking killed everybody, and that was all bullshit.
He's gone.
And then it wasn't that, but then a second later it was. So there's a little brief moment of like, oh, it kind of was that. I'm going to assume that's what she was responding to, because then they go, oh, look, he's attacking. But then it turns out...
Nah, it's the money. Let me tell you, I'm telling you right now, it's the money.
Okay. And then, you know, they get there, and most people got away in time. But, like, the idea of, like... Well, I assume some people got ate. Maybe some off camera. I don't know. But...
yeah, you know what? Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Now, when I see Arlong Park is just a theme park, and the way that these fucking shark gangsters like fucking hang out, these shark pirates are just having a house party. And they're just chilling, and they've got little games of like whack-a-mole and shit behind them. Like, I'm assuming there are multiple episodes of like going into a death carnival perhaps before they get to the final boss that might occur once you enter the park. Is that kind of...
Not really.
No? Do they just get right to the chase on that one?
Yeah, they just kind of go down there and throw it down here. I'll send you a photo of anime Arlong Park.
Okay.
You get there and the guys are just kind of hanging out next to the pool and
okay
having drinks and chilling and being like, yeah, we own this island, it's ours.
All right, hold on, we're getting aggressive amounts of no, so I'm curious to find out what's the deal, because I look at like when you design a story like a back level, a backstage for your villain, and I'm like, oh, like did we just not get to see a number of little death games or gimmicks to that, you know? Anyway,
no, it's they're just chilling. They're just chilling by the pool.
Okay.
As somebody in the chat points out, like in the actual thing, they don't even go into the building. They have the whole fight by the pool.
Oh, really? Wait, so then the super fucking axe kick isn't that?
No, that's brand new.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
No, Luffy just fucking bodies him.
Oh, no shit. That was cool enough that I thought it was actually like a source material defeat moment. Oh, okay.
It's not? Okay, well, you know what, chat? You're all one person, and I'm never going to listen to you ever again.
Okay. Well, in any case, yeah, that was fun.
Back to cursed emote existence.
No problem. So yeah, that was fun. And yeah, like I it is I did I'm also assuming that fucking Kobe's shitbag buddy like
Helmeppo.
gets perhaps a little more humanizing, over time. But like the fact that it's like, oh yeah, and here are the Marine buddies. And it's like Kobe's great, but fuck that
Bro,
guy.
that story is so long.
He's
and
still
ongoing
an asshole. Why is
that
he? Why is he getting friend coded? You know?
I don't. That story is so ongoing that when I watch 250 episodes of One Piece, I don't think I ever cut back to Kobe and Helmeppo. But I know they're doing stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like Kobe is a Marine on the inside doing what's right, and both like there's good pirates and and bad pirates. There's good Marines and bad Marines. But yeah, fuck that stupid bowl cut asshole. He's still a jerk. Like this Anyway,
someone at home watching this podcast is going, no, they don't know. They don't know about Helmeppo's big moment.
I'm sure he has a big moment, perhaps. There is that little moment where like the mast falls and then he saves him, and then it's like, oh hey, okay, thank you. But yeah, that's all fine. And so anyway, from what I can tell, the Grand Line is a zone, and once your boat crosses the threshold, it just catches on fire, and everyone just explodes.
I actually can explain this. I do know enough about One Piece to tell you what the deal with the Grand Line is. So, the Grand Line is a region of the world in which everyone who lives there has the potential to grow up to be Goku.
Okay.
And it is a strip of ocean that goes west to east, that has areas of impassable, dead sea monster danger zones at the top and the bottom, so you can't go cross them because a sea monster will eat you. And
it's the middle of the quadrant of east, west, north, south, blue.
Yeah, and you can only go left to right because you need a magic compass to point you not to the east, but to the next island.
Okay.
So you are mandated to go island to island, island to island to island, and meet all your zany friends along the way.
Okay. Fucking death aggro zone, Australia.
And as you go further east, you are finding areas that are populated entirely by everyone else who was tough enough to get this far east, aka more Gokus.
Okay. Because I'm just like, is it like Metroid where you shoot a door and walk in and you're now in the Grand Line and your life bar is going?
Yes, it is like that. Yes.
Some motherfucker is just coming at your boat immediately. Yeah. So all right. We look forward to more adventures. But there it is. There you go. I have after all this time, I've completed One Piece.
Hooray! It's real.
It is real. There you go.
The One Piece is real.
Confirmation.
There's something that I thought was really weird about the live action adaptation, because I was under the impression that it mattered. Because Gold Roger is not Gold Roger. His name is Gold D Roger. He has a middle initial named D. I say this because I remember weirdos talking about the fucking legacy of D.
Okay.
And that it has something to do with Monkey D. Luffy.
Okay.
I don't know. But I don't know what that means. And I think the phrase legacy of D is hilarious.
I mean, when I was just looking, when I was just looking up like what the original manga versions of the characters' art styles were like, I was like looking, let's see what Mihawk looked like, and fucking
Mihawk is like 1-to-1.
Yeah,
Mihawk is the most.
Fucking Blippo,
Buggy, man.
Fucking
Buggy the clown.
The clown. Yeah, and I wanted to see what the originals looked like.
Got his cleanest fucking flying around.
And I did see, and in that when I went to go look at Garp, who is a pretty fucking accurate cast, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Looking at Garp's original form, like, holy shit, yeah, that's him. And what I wanted to see was whether his dog hat made more sense.
It does. It does make more sense.
Because I couldn't find a picture of him with his dog hat in manga form, and I didn't want to dig too hard.
In live action, looks fucking super terrible, and I love
unbelievably
that it does.
dumb. It looks so awful, and I was like, "Please tell me this makes more sense in manga form." But I didn't dig too hard.
I can get you an anime screenshot. Will
that
do it for you?
Sure. Because I was very curious about that.
Just typed in Garp dog hat and got this for you.
Oh yeah, okay, that's significantly different. It's a fucking full like mask.
Yeah, it goes underneath his chin.
Like
so he's looks, like,
in the live action, it looks like a cute little fucking Canadian toque, you know. Anyways, but then and in doing that, I saw his full name. This was after anyway, but like they never say it in the show, right?
Yeah.
But that applies there too as well. With the whole bit with the whatever the legacy of D is.
Maybe I'm crazy, but in the One Piece live action show, they do the grandpa thing really fast, like episode 5 or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that ever happening in the One Piece that I went through.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I don't know when that's supposed to happen, but I was under the impression that it was fairly in there.
Okay. So did you catch the name thing, or did it?
I did not.
Okay, so then
I was watching the TV show is when I found out about it.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess then I had some questions about that, but obviously the answers to those questions lie in the future. So I'm like, all right, I'll leave that alone. But yeah, fun, dumb fucking romp. Cracked the shit out, and
episode 314
is when that goes down.
Oh no, wait, that's about Luffy's dad.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Jesus. But yeah, it's out there. Why'd they put it so early then? I guess they wanted to have like a moment.
Well, if you compress 1 million episodes and you have to get to like an early story arc, I can understand putting in some. You probably should make the things that occur at the end of the first season, even if it's just 8 episodes, feel like they matter to the character arc, right?
I remember a long time ago, Robert Kirkman, is he the Walking Dead man?
Mm-hmm.
So when that first season of Walking Dead, which was really good, they go to the CDC, which doesn't happen in the comics. And in an interview with Kirkman, they're like, well, hey, so how come they went to the CDC when they did in the comics? He's like, I didn't know the CDC was in Atlanta when I wrote the story. And now I feel stupid that they didn't go, my characters didn't go to the CDC headquarters.
Feels like it
when
should
I
have
wrote
been
the
a thing.
comic.
Right.
So I wish they had done so. And I wonder if that's kind of what's happening here, where Oda decided fucking 400 chapters in, yeah, okay, he's his grandpa.
But also,
I wish I could have set that up earlier.
But also, if the resolution of the season was like, okay, we got the Nami arc taken care of, and then there was nothing in terms of Marines and anything that was, it would have been like, it would have felt like, oh, you're like, it would have felt a little unsatisfying. Like I think that it made sense to like put a little thing that ties into Luffy's character, because it's the main character, and we're closing out of the season, so you got to do something there, right? Even if it's a half tease for the future. I get that. That makes sense to me. Anyway, so yeah, that was cool.
Are you going to start reading One Piece?
I will start watching One Piece, and by that I will wait for season 2, and I will watch it. But yeah. Anyway, so the finishing of FF16 means we're going to move back to FF9 this week.
Huzzah!
Played some more Baldur's Gate. That was fun.
Hey, Wooly. Somebody sent me a clip from your channel in which you and Min were playing some weirdo rabbit FF14 raid simulator. Yeah. What the fuck was that?
So we did Salt Party for Min's birthday. We did a bunch of party games, and we had some fun. So one of those, those episodes are coming out on the channel now. We played Keep Talking and No One Explodes, which is hilarious. The bomb diffusing game where one player has to defuse a bomb the other players can't see, and then the others are flipping through a guidebook to figure out how to do it. A lot of fun. Yeah, we had that.
Yeah, that game's great. That game's fantastic.
Classic good one. One of the best VR games originally that came out, I remember.
You get everything builds up to the moment where somebody goes, the thing, and you go, I don't know what that means. I don't know what the thing is.
We played Unspottable, which is a game that just defeated me completely and utterly. I couldn't handle it. It's a game that is like it's like hidden in plain sight. Giant crowd, you got to find yourself and then act like the AI and then hit the other players before they hit you.
Oh, it's Assassin's Creed Brotherhood's multiplayer.
Sure. That's yeah. But in a single screen. But I say hidden in plain sight because it's more similar to that because it's one screen, zoomed out as opposed to like actual third person walking around and stuff. It was cool, and the rules change in every map and shit. So there's different ways to distract and get hidden and
That's
disappear.
Fascinating. I'm looking at this right now. That's really cool.
But my brain was just fucking. I was having the hardest time. Like, because the identifying yourself while also not giving it away, while also then like looking for clues for who's giving themselves away, and then defensively, and then off. Like, it was just, I was melting so hard. So that was fun too as well. You can watch me break completely in that game. I identified very quickly. I was like, I can't play this. Like, I'm not good at this. I could tell right away I'm not good at this. F-Zero 99. Lots of fun, really wild, fun, stupid version of F-Zero, which I appreciate the 99 games. I like that you can just go back and chock them full of bullshit with 99 other players and go. And that game was already hard enough for me as a kid. I always died. I couldn't fucking figure out how to race and not explode. So doing it with now a room full of people is even more chaotic. And then, yes, we played Rabbit and Steel is what it's called. And that is essentially, we've got FF14 at home.
I only watched the clip that someone sent me, but somebody just sent me the Steam page. The inspiration, let's call it, it's overwhelming.
The art style is Vieira in Tactics art style form. Like the characters on the title screen.
Sure, but I mean, I'm talking down to specific icons and AOE markers.
Very clearly so. Very, I can see that. I get the feeling for that. It is hey, do you want to do the feeling of a raid? Except you don't want to do a real full raid right now.
You don't want to have to play an MMO to do the raid. You just want to jump right to a new raid right now.
/ raid practicer. I wouldn't be surprised if some.
Oh, it's multiplayer.
It's 4 players.
They need to get that up to 8 players. They want to really.
And you can pick a dancer or a mage or a paladin, whatever. So there's classes, and they each have their cycle of skills you can go through.
It's funny because whenever we talked about because you don't have any history with a tab target MMO, right? You just
don't even know what that word means.
Okay, a tab target MMO is literally an MMO where if you were on mouse and keyboard, you would hit tab and the enemy in front of you would lock on, and then all your actions would be in reference to that. So WoW and FF14 and blah 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 are tab target MMO. Guild Wars too.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember whenever I talked about FF14, actually, someone in the chat,
KOTOR?
Yeah, KOTOR is also kind of a tab target.
Played it with a controller.
Well. But it was always really hard to actually explain to you what the fuck was actually occurring. All that was actually visible when you did the near raid was dodge the orange circle, right? And it's like, well, I'm looking at this thing. Yeah, that looks like Min tricked you into playing a couple rounds of FF14.
Yeah, I think that was I assumed that was the bit when I heard the description of it. Solidus big push for that as well, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it here. The bit is let's do some 14 rating style thing and see how it goes. So yeah, I was like, yeah, let's lean into it. Let's see how that goes. And
yeah, this appears to be a pretty decent facsimile of your average encounter.
Now, be it on the game, it's in demo, so the full game's not out yet. But now, be it on the game or the style of whatever's going on, my major takeaway from it is desperately lacking juice, and
yes,
it needs a lot. It's thirsty. It needs so much juice added because every hit feels like you didn't hit anything. Everything is light and airy. Every attack just kind of floats over the collision hitbox circle that it goes into, and damage pops up. But I don't
it's really
feel
funny.
like I've done anything.
I'm looking like really carefully. They took a lot of interface stuff from 14. Like there's crits that have 1 exclamation point, and there's 2 exclamation points for a bigger crit. But like 14, for example, even though it's just text, like floating text, that comes off an enemy, when you do a direct hit crit, which has the 2 exclamation points, the text is like 4 times as large.
Okay.
and it goes buh when it happens.
So yeah, my as someone who was just like, and my brain was also just like, as getting to the end, or the last game fucked me up a bit, but trying to grasp everything going on. I did understand the like, okay, do your main ability or do your secondary ability, and then it buffs your main and your third, and then here's a defensive one. I was like, okay, I grasped that part of it. The shopping and the more advanced, I was like, okay, let me just whatever. I'm not gonna try to parse that too hard right now. I'm just gonna try to stick to the simple and then follow the instructions on screen. I wish the instruction text for get in the circle was a lot like and things like that. I wish that was or separate was like, I guess, bigger or more significant. There are times when, because the main thing is like you're playing a little bit of the rhythm game, right? You're playing your Osu Oendan style. Like, all right, the timer for the detonation is about to occur. Separate from each other. Also, the things are coming down from this, so don't get hit by those. Drop your shield if you need to. But also, you're going to teleport in 5 seconds. And parsing which of these things is going to happen first, second, or third is not clear. So that's where I was like, ooh, okay, this is all in UI design. And the colors are great at distinguishing each player from each other and the enemy. But you need to know which of these 4 threats on screen is going to happen in first, second, third, and fourth order.
I feel like I'm disassociating. Listening to you describe this. I'm going to assume, I think it's a fair assumption, that the person making this plays a lot of FF14, at which point the complaint that you just made is possibly intentional. Because one of the largest things about a raid encounter in FF14 is this mechanic started, and now keep in your head when they are going to resolve, in what order, where you're going to need to be, etc. Like, for example, like I'll take a really basic example where everyone gets afflicted with you're going to explode in 30 seconds, and the damage is so high that if 2 people are next to each other, they'll die, but you can survive it by yourself. But there's also a knockback mechanic that'll knock you to the edges of the arena, and your brain has to understand that the knockback will occur before the explosion. So you actually all want to get all touching each other in the center, despite the fact that you're afraid you're going to explode, so that you all get knocked back to the edges and not off the platform.
Yeah, the moment I was experiencing was a get in the circle while there was a teleport up that was about to happen. And then I think, and there was also just a straight up like attack on screen that was like a giant corridor laser or something.
That is a mechanic from an encounter from 6 months ago in 14. Like
Okay.
that exact thing
Yeah.
is, what's her name? The redhead with the scythe. Yeah, no, that's just straight ripped from like an existing encounter.
Right. So there's a point where
and
yeah.
when 14 does it, the solution is learn it or die,
Do it again and know it. Okay. Okay.
and then you'll know it better next time.
yeah. Because
Yeah, that's Nafika's fucking mechanic.
because basically there's a moment or two, or there's a couple of moments where I was like, okay, make sure that the teleport destination is inside the circle when that is up.
Resolves. Yeah.
But the place that I need to be, because the safe space of the circle, because it was overlapping like Venn diagram style, and the little corner that I had to land in, the place that I had to be to get there was the damage zone.
Yeah.
You know? So then I was like, oh, so I have to take this damage?
No, there'll be a timing in which you wait for the damage zone to resolve, then run into the safe spot, and then it'll teleport you to the second safe spot.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. This is a roguelike, so maybe it's possible in its demo form it creates impossible patterns.
Yeah. Well, there was lock-ins on horizontal and vertical axes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like, okay, you can no longer go X left, right? So, but ultimately, I can see that being part of the challenge of playing the rhythm game, right? So, that all makes sense, I suppose. My main thing with just do I enjoy is like, even if and when I say juice, I mean, look,
it's hard to get juice in a game in which everyone has to attack one thing and it can't really react.
Yeah, and this is an indie game. It's you know what I mean. It's a demo. It's obviously like very very. It's kind of a small project, so you don't expect maximum fucking style points on everything there. But I will say this, that a thing for me in MMOs has been like, when I hit something, I like it to feel like I hit it. So it's been a little thing for me when something doesn't reel or have a hit or an impact or a little.
That
bit
is
of
a very
feedback, right?
traditional weakness of a tab target MMO. That like some ones do better, but it's like an inherent limitation of the way the system is built for that genre.
And that's what baited me towards like shit like fucking Black Desert, because I saw someone actually get hit. So in this case, like, it's not just that it's light on those moments, because even when a game is light on those moments and kind of fakes it, you'll see your attack, you didn't attack, the enemy didn't attack, but the attack wave came from you to the enemy, and then maybe when it touched, the screen shook a little bit, even though nothing actually happened between these two. But here, like, nothing actually occurs. The wave just hits it and the damage is received. Or the wave hits me, and then the color overlaps, and the damage is received. And
the way that
that just doesn't feel like anything's happening. Even in Oendan, or Osu, when you track the line to the corner and go, it goes pah. Even that, pah.
Yeah, that.
So
So the way that you usually get around this, in that you have a boss and a character that are kind of acting apart from each other together, is that you flood both of them with tons of super fancy high quality effect animations, so that hitting the button in a vacuum is supposed to be satisfying.
Right, yeah. And I can imagine moments where, like, I may have said it elsewhere, but it's like, if the big giant enemy is being fought by a room full of people, so it can't possibly acknowledge me as an individual, okay, fine. But if my character can dash forward, Renzo Kuken, do the big slash, and at least for me, the thing looks like I went right? And it didn't react, but the particles and the moment and the screen shake of my screen doing it hit in a way that's satisfying, then it's something. So I would like feedback in that way when I play.
You are describing the juice process that went into FF14's best feeling animation, which is a warrior ability called Fell Cleave. Fell Cleave is a warrior is an axe using tank, and Fell Cleave is their big hit. And the animation for Fell Cleave is a huge windup, a slam that stops for a half second, then 3 circles that make extremely loud buzzsaw noises spring out from the hit, and then it goes to go through it. That's not actually attached to an enemy. You can do that on training dummy. You could probably do it to nothing, but it requires a target, right? But the animation is pretending that you're just and it does a really good job.
Yeah. I would say another example of this from what I could feel in 16 is a Dragoon drop, right? It's the ultimate in animation anticipation and follow through, tween, squash, stretch, all of that is up.
How fast does he leave the screen? How fast does he come back onto the screen?
That moment of like, ooh, impact. Fuck you. Like, that shit is so sick. So do everything you can to make that moment feel good, even if the end result is the thing taking damage stands there and then a number pops up, you know? So that's what I would like.
14 does jump in a really interesting way because it's mostly a lie. Jumps in 14, they realize they want you to go really fast and have a Dragoon jump. So when you hit the button, your character's model rockets up off the edge of the camera and disappears.
Okay.
So that it can come back down in a half a second from space. But what's really happening is you're doing an attack 1 foot in front of you.
Right.
And you kind of get locked into place for a half second.
Sell it. That's exactly it. So yeah, that's my main thing with this game is I want to see more. I want to see more juice,
more juice,
please. But yep, I did get tricked. I really got to use the bathroom, so let's take that. And then
I'll also use the bathroom. This is great.
And then I have something interesting to explain coming up soon. BRB.
It's something strange going to happen in the bathroom?
No, after that.
Oh, unrelated. Okay.
Yes, all right. BRB. All right. So yes, that was the stuff. So this week, he did Little Baldur's and took care of all the other stuff I mentioned. What's coming up? Tomorrow we're gonna return to FF9, and then on Saturday we're gonna do a little spoopy stream. So
Oh,
I'm gonna play some Halloween games. Come check it out. Should be fun. Got a variety. And on Thursday I'm going to try some new shit. So
yeah.
yeah, there's a project that we're gonna take a crack at. I described it to people who were showed up to the stream before we started yesterday. So we are going to take a moment to do not a let's play, but a let's read. Now I'm not sure how well this is going to work, and this might completely fail, but I'm giving it a shot.
Chat can't read.
Yes, so I'm going to read for you.
Right. Oh, that's nice of you.
Now here's the deal. If you enjoyed Disco Elysium, there's a book. It's called Sacred and Terrible Air.
Oh, you're crazy. You're a fucking crazy bitch.
It is a book written by Robert Kurvitz, which takes place within the Disco Elysium world. It doesn't take place with the same characters. It doesn't even take place on the same Isola, but it is something that is somewhat connected, and it has been translated by fans and has popped up a couple months ago. I want to say there was a project and some people were working on it. Eventually it was translated. I am very curious about the contents of that and how it connects and what's going on in it. So I was wondering and looking into it. Now, obviously it's a fucking book, right? So this leads to a couple things. One, when I played Disco Elysium before the director's cut came out, I was worried about how much talking I would have to do, and I remember trying it out.
Worry.
And I was like, "Oh, this is exhausting. I can't do this. We can't play this game." And then the director's cut came out and made it possible thanks
to everyone.
The addition of voice acting. So, what I looked into and what was made possible is the fan translation text then will be read out going through it. It's a short story. There is an AI woolly voice that exists that I have created. Now,
you made it?
Yes, I have. For the purposes of being able to go through this, it is my voice. I am in control of its usage. It's not anything that anyone else should have control over or anything else like that. But as me, as the one who's consenting to it, I'm using my voice to read through this and be able to listen through it at the same time. Because the process of actually going through, of course, would make it prohibitive. It would be impossible to go through that much in the course of a stream. But having this this tech is now going to allow me to read through and go through the book in this way. It's been also set up so that the chapter and formatting of it. And this is all, again, heavy thanks to, so Azuna helped with this project as well as Josh, who is the one you know as well. He was on one of the episodes of Wooly Will Figure It Out. And so what he did on his own as a thing that he was interested in doing, and it just happened to overlap with me looking into this, was he created a text reader that takes a PDF and formats things in a way that is laid out kind of like the UI in Disco Elysium. So line by line, you can actually read through, go forward or backwards, and have a text conversation scroll in a way that looks like the UI setup in Disco. He just did that on his own and coded it and it works in this kind of interface. And so we just have the ability to go through a visual novel style thing with it. You can drop a PDF in, and in this context, it would be Sacred and Terrible Air. So it's a weird, different thing, but ultimately I'm really curious about this book and how, if you're like, how it ties in, if it does at all, and the places and things that came about as a, not prequel, but entry into this disco universe. I want to know what happens. I want to go through it, and I thought, how could we do this in a form that other people could check it out too if they're interested as well. And looking at it, it seems like, okay, it might be doable based on the length of it. It seems like it could be done in perhaps maybe 2 or 3 streams. But yeah, it's a wild kind of idea. I don't know if it's going to work for sure, but I do know that.
Tested it?
I have tested, but what I mean when I say work, I mean it's going to work in that it exists and we can do it. Will it be interesting to watch? Will it be fun? Will people enjoy the process of going through this? I don't know about that. But will the things occur? Yes, they will. It's just it's a pretty odd way to go about it, but I'm curious. I want to try it out. I want to see how this goes.
Are you gonna be there?
Yes. So I am going to play through. So the reader in disco style will allow me to play through as if it were a visual novel Disco Elysium conversation, and I will be going through it and I've tried it out and tested out the parts, but I haven't read the book. Right, so the content and stuff, I'm gonna be going through it for the first time, along with Reggie there, and we're gonna just read it and see it, and we'll be, doing everything we would be talking and giving our thoughts on whatever's happening, but we're going through it with this very unusual way of like reading a text. The other thing I should note is what I do know about the book. Again, I know, so talking to people that have gone through it, and again, like Josh has it, I know some others, but like the subject matter of the book is certainly not going to be the same light and airy kind of funny disco vibe with the occasional dark stuff. There's going to be definitely a much more serious and dark tone to like the content here. There's going to be some stuff that's like I mean, again, if you think about the most the most serious parts of disco, like this is the stuff that the author is writing it on, and this is the place that like he tells his stories from. So it's going to be going into that those aspects as well. Not to say that it will be unfamiliar, but overall, I've been told that expect to go into some very serious and dark places with this kind of story. But it is a exploration of a short story that an exploration of the world that is connected in a way, and might be interesting as a project. Very weird, baffling, out of nowhere. I know your face is astonished, but I want to try some wild shit.
Very strong minds on this. Mm-hmm. The amount of work you've clearly put into this is super cool. And I am willing to admit my status as born hater and kibosher of cool ideas in the future. Mm-hmm. However, I am overwhelmed, particularly with today's Netflix trailer of Squid Game for Realsies, of a famous tweet that is coming to you now. The famous sci-fi classic, The Torment Nexus, has been made real, straight from the story, Don't Create the Torment Nexus. Mm-hmm. I'm getting some, like, Babel vibes off of this.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I know that this is, in terms of just, like, my voice reading it out, and it's super weird. Certainly experiencing that is as weird as it sounds. I know that that's also something that not only that is anyone can do, but certainly it takes like less than zero effort, just alongside the ability to like deepfake and all the wild shit that we're getting into. But The main thing, of course, is like, that's why I'm kind of like, okay, well, if I want to go through this book in some way and like experience it, and if I think it might be fun for other people who are, again, into disco in the same way that I am, to like check this out and see how it connects and what else is going on with it. It's me in control of that. By it being my voice and everything like that. That's the main reason why I'm going about it in this way, you know. But it definitely is fucking weird to hear, and I will say this too, true to form, with all the fucking true to form, there is definitely going to be readings and moments and things that are going to sound like weird,
Garbo, yeah,
absolutely badly translated / converted to text to voice. And that shit's going to be live, and we'll be like, yo, wow, look at that shit. That line was fucking stupid. That sounds nothing like that. Lol. You know, that's going to be part of this as well, for sure. But yeah, I think it's again, a completely weird, unprecedented direction to go in, but it was possible, and it just happened to line up with this cool thing that Josh was working on. And again, thanks to Asna for helping with the lines. There's the ability to literally visual novel going forward to a line, going backward, and going through each chapter in a way that can be done with a controller that can be Let's Played effectively. So I think this might be an interesting project. I just don't know if it's going to be fun to watch. I don't know. Yeah, laughter. What's got you?
When you said it lined up with something Josh was working on, my brain, of course, Josh is working on something.
Yeah, over there. But yeah, I mean, kudos to him on that. I fucking taken a look at it. It's like, yo, it pulls it up. It's got, you scroll right through, and you have, you know, like there's even some pictures that are in the book that like are able to be pulled up as images, and you know, I have idle images as well, so it can be like a not just looking at text on a screen experience, you know, and we can even put ourselves in the corner where the detectives would be, you know, as part of that like, HUD. It's a whole thing.
I don't know how to feel about this. Traditionally, when I mean, our profession is a combination of voice, video, and personality. Mm-hmm. We have recently been in a renaissance of the commodification and manufacture of the video portion of it, i.e. VTubers. Mm-hmm. Right? And you have decided to skip past that and automate your voice, which is new. That's a new one. Keep that shit on lock.
Yeah, sure. Now here's the thing. It's already easy and possible for anyone who exists on the internet in this way. Like, it's the type of thing that you can just hope that someone is, you know, like it can be done that easily. It's already there, right? So that it's just up to I suppose the individuals that do it. But for this purpose, at the very least, I'm like, yeah, the way this is set up, I intend to obviously not just be like, hey, everyone, you can then go and grab this and do it. But we live in that world, you know. Either way, though, I
don't know. Maybe this is just me. This is just like my personal thing. But like when I am begrudgingly forced to quote unquote live in that world, I usually reject that world.
Fair, yeah.
Rather than put my foot into it.
I get it. I do. But I do think this does make it possible to go through the text and kind of check out this story and do it in a way that, you know, is, again, makes sense for the channel, and it's going to have a format as well that, again, we can digest. I want ultimately this to be a cool way to to just kind of like, you know, be able to check out this thing that recently was able to be fan translated, and you know, again, hopefully it pays off. This might be an incredibly wild ass failure of an idea. I say this from the outset, which is why I'm prefacing it with this conversation as opposed to just throwing it out there on the schedule and everyone's like, what is this, right?
I think you're still gonna get that reaction.
Oh yeah, because I did this yesterday. This is the second version of this conversation, and then I'm gonna have to do it again when we do start it as well. And we're gonna go through it. I want to make sure that, you know, like, it's like, what is happening exactly? And it's like, yeah, here's each step of this in order to check out this book and see what's up. But yeah, I'm if it fails, it fails. But I'm curious to see how this plays out, you know? So yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to try. And I think we should be able to do it in, based on the length, about 2-3 sessions, possibly 4, depending on how much there is to discuss. But it is a wild fucking, yeah, it is a nuts thing to do, but that's it.
Hey, I just want to be really clear that none of you ever have permission to use my voice ever for anything unless you have my written explicit permission.
There you go. Yeah. My main panic and anxiety is definitely like, will this just be like, will it just be like rough to go through? Will it be an interesting thing, or will it be fun? Like, will, you know, I don't know. So that's what I'm certainly nervous about, but I want to give it a shot on the off chance that it turns out to be really cool. It might be super duper cool in the end. So we will see. So that's coming up. That's the plan for this week. You can check it out over on Woolly Versus on Twitch and Woolly Versus on YouTube. Quick word from our sponsors.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I believe Michael Scott had a quote. Exactly. All right.
And the quote is,
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott.
who the fuck is Michael Scott?
From The Office.
Oh. Wait, isn't he
Wayne
the
Gretzky.
idiot?
Yes, that's correct. In the quote, he's quoting the Wayne Gretzky Michael Jordan moment, but it says at the end Michael Scott because he's quoting the quote.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
It said, okay, on a whiteboard, it says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, dash Wayne Gretzky, dash Michael Scott.
Oh, that is terrible. Holy fuck.
That's, yeah. All right. This week, the podcast is sponsored by Factor. With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for some wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, and can help you fuel up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. So, yes, if you want to save time on getting healthy meals delivered straight to you, Factor is the way to do it. If you're too busy to cook and you want to skip the trip to the grocery store, they got you covered. But being able to eat something that is healthy and tastes good is important as well. As for me this morning was basically up straight to the gym and then immediately back here and then prep and then start working. There was barely any time to think about anything, much less get food in me that is not already ready to go. So I can't.
Now, you could always go with just don't eat. But that's a
Yeah.
bad plan.
Yeah, that will work until it doesn't, and the time limit on that is sooner than you think. So in particular, though, you can get a couple of different options every season. They're changing 35 plus weekly flavor packed fresh and never frozen meals that promote a healthy lifestyle and they meet your meal preferences. You can make your meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. Yeah, for the fall season, options like cranberry pecan chicken, apple Dijon pork chops. That sounds pretty good. And you can get this type of stuff going. Again, healthy, and just 2 minutes of prep is ideal. So tons of options as well with calorie conscious if you want to do something that can be calorie smart if you're counting and taking a look. You can have meals that are coming in around or less than 550 calories per serving, which is pretty good if you're keeping track. I know I am, and that's a target for me. So yeah, if you want to get in on it, head to factormeals.com/castle50. Use code castle50 and you'll get 50% off. That's code castle50 at factormeals.com/castle50 to get 50% off. This week as well, the podcast is sponsored by Raycon. It's the best time of year. You can, we're approaching the holidays. It's Raycon's anniversary. And yes, it is Halloween as well, but either way, you're able to get 20 to 40% off premium electronics with Raycon. They're celebrating their anniversary sale, and you don't want to miss it. So we've talked about the Raycon anniversary sale before. This year, Raycon's turning 6, and they've made a name for themselves in the premium audio space. They got everyday earbuds that are delivering high-quality audio with lots of thoughtful features, like a 32-hour battery life and a perfect in-ear fit. All-day wear, lasting comfort, all very important as you get the wires out of your life. So it's got over 78,000 five-star reviews. And they've expanded their entire business with the introduction of Raycon Home and Raycon PowerTech. So there's a lot for them to celebrate. To thank everyone who's shown support in the last 6 years, they're offering 20% off everything on their site, and select products are up to 40%. So that's huge. I know that, again, right now as we speak, Punch Mom's back there rocking her Raycons. She's regularly using them for calls and listening. Absolutely. You got to filter out all this bullshit. And they are great. So she's on the regular, rocking her Raycons as well. So you don't want to miss out on the Raycon anniversary sale. Don't wait another year for it. Celebrate Raycon turning 6 with their biggest sale of the year going on now. Hurry now to buyraycon.com/superbeast and use the code BIRTHDAY to get 20 to 40% off site-wide. That's code BIRTHDAY at buyraycon.com/superbeast to score 20 to 40% off. Buyraycon.com/superbeast.
Thanks, Raycon.
Thank you, Raycon. All right. And this week, the podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. So, yes, that is the online therapy solution. So therapy can help you figure out a lot of things in life. It can help you if you are feeling like your brain's getting in its own way. There's a couple of different times where it would be things can get pretty cluttered, and ultimately having someone to talk to about this, what's going on with you, can help clarify and simplify in some cases what is happening. So excuse me, sorry, I got a little lost there. Yeah, no, therapy is helpful for pretty much everybody. I think there's a lot of times in life I know that people I love and care about have been able to use therapy to improve their mental health and their well-being. And yeah, it's just been a great solution. So the way that you can, excuse me. So if you're thinking
it's
of,
like you might need some therapy.
I
to
do,
help you
I
with your
do,
speech.
I am. I'm picking up a lot of bullet points that I want to make sure that I'm correctly going through here. But yes, if your brain getting in its own way, that's me right now. In fact,
Get out of your own way, brain.
yes. if it were so easy, if only it were so easy. But I might need someone else to help me with that. And yeah, that's where something like BetterHelp can come in handy. Again, I know that I've seen therapy work wonders for people that are in my life, and I think it's a great thing if you have not considered it. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire, and you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So, yeah, make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. You can visit betterhelp.com/superbeast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/superbeast. Thank you, BetterHelp.
Thanks, BetterHelp.
Yeah. Brain work good is if only it were so easy.
Luckily, Wooly, you won't need to use your own voice for much longer.
Well, yeah. Slowly but surely, we can combine what we have, and then I can fucking just click the button and die.
Oh, hey, don't jump. That's the surprise.
Well,
Don't spoil it.
I can get the VTuber rigged up, and then who will know the difference? You know, it's fine.
Are you gonna have to teach Reggie to talk to future Robo You?
Yeah, that's probably the move. Green screen into the seat, and then just have him look to the side, and have a couple of like Reggie acting like with a little mocap ball, like when fucking in Lord of the Rings, and shit like that. Just Reggie's gonna get used to just looking at the markers and going, "Wow, that's crazy, Wooly. Damn, racism again, huh?" So I think he can do it. It'll be fine. All right. Yeah. What is going on? I'm like I said, if you can't tell, you should be able to tell. It should be written all over my face. I'm very nervous about this project. Yeah, what you're hearing is me very nervous about like whether or not this is gonna work. When I'm about to hit the big red button, I also get very nervous. And I go, should I create the Torment Nexus? I don't know. I feel like I should. But also yeah. The outcome, if it is a fucking cool read of a sick ass disco related thing, and everyone
super worth it.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, I think so. As long as I've got my shit, but like I said, I'm mainly concerned about whether it's just gonna be like dry or whether or not it'll be a fun journey. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm nervous about new project, and I'm gonna try to continue going into the news, but I'm very distracted thinking about how that's gonna go. So Can you fill me in?
I too get nervous putting my dick into a glory hole. What could happen? Maybe it'll be good.
I don't think that this is exactly that, but
Probably be good.
I don't
I
think
could just beat off myself, but what if somebody that I can't see did it for me? Oh.
again I feel like yeah. I'm hoping for the best on this, but I don't think that's I'm
picturing you in the fucking stall, like walking up to the side. I'm wishing for the best.
Okay, all right. I don't think that's the full on nightmare as described, but again, there is a part of this too where like anything is all right. Can you tell me about Dawntrail?
Oh yeah, I totally can. Well, Dawntrail got announced a little while ago. It's new location, level cap, blah blah blah. The recent FanFest, they showed off that the new class is going to be a brand new class called Viper. And when I say brand new, I mean it doesn't exist in Final Fantasy. Traditionally, what they have done is they go, okay, there's a million jobs across all of Final Fantasy. We'll just pick here, there, here, there, here, there. But this one they've decided, and with Reaper last time, okay, they're just gonna start making shit up. There's no necessary link to existing Final Fantasy shit at all, and it is, hey, do you want to have a character with 2 swords that isn't a ninja? That is the straight up like design doc explanation for why they made this class. Because for the longest time, if you wanted to have 2 knives or 2 swords or 2 whatever, you had to play a ninja. But some people don't like ninja. So here you go. Here's Viper. They got 2 swords and they put the hilts together. And then it's one big sword just like Zidane.
What is a limited job?
That's a really great question. A limited job currently right now in the game, there's Blue Mage, right? So the way that a regular job works is as you level up or do your job quest or whatever, you'll get abilities. You'll get this ability at this level, at this level, at this level. And the job is kind of built out from level 1 to the cap, right? And it has a designed function at the end. Blue Mage works like Blue Mage, in which an enemy does a move to you and you get that move and you end up getting a massive amount of moves that is completely fucked up and super broken when you combine them in a bunch of stupid ways that laughably trivializes huge portions of the game. So you're not allowed to queue into dungeons or raids with it.
Okay.
And it will never, ever be at the same level cap as the real jobs. So it is a limited job is a job for funsies. For non-serious content. Okay. Because for serious content, it would fuck that shit up and trivialize tons of shit.
Because I was wondering if it was like, oh, are there jobs that are not part of the main list, but like still exist in the game in a like capacity where you can do it for a bit in certain circumstances or something? Yeah, okay, interesting. It also mentioned, 16 crossovers were announced as well.
Shocking. Yoshi P says that he reached out to Naoki Yoshida of FF16, and they were able to come into an agreement as to how that crossover event happened. I mentioned this again on this podcast as a joke because they made that joke like twice on stage. They're really, really happy with it. They think it's great. You'll get Clive's outfit. You'll get Torgal to ride around on.
Actual. Oh, okay. Now, would
You'll get little baby Torgal as a minion
Torgal to ride around on, or Torgal to fight with?
to ride around on.
Okay.
You'll get Clive's tit covers, his chest beaver flaps, and you'll also have an encounter with Clive's version of Ifrit. And it looks like you get to keep some of like his Phoenix moveset to like teleport around.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like I assumed 16's integration, but then again, I don't have a reference point, but I assumed that 16's integration would be like a massive chunk of content, given like how
these
much
things
the
take like an
overlap
hour.
is. Yeah. Okay.
No, here's what happened with Noxus and Lightning. Wow, I fell through a portal. That's crazy. Oh, I gotta go get my car, or I have to go get my dog, or whatever. Can you help me get my car or dog? And then you go there, and you're like, oh man, a version of an FF14 boss is here that had its model changed to look like the game that I am from.
Okay.
Now you will fight it with 2 extra buttons.
Okay. Okay.
That was fun. I'm going to fall back through a portal back to my home planet, and then they poochie off the screen after giving you their clothes. That's how they do it. That's...
Okay. Yeah, series Xbox open beta test set from mid-January to February.
It's going to be on everything. Well, not the Switch, but I mean, obviously. But that'll be nice. I when I reiterated that, I pointed to the camera and I said, I'm sure everyone is going to be so normal about Xbox players being added to the player base. I'm sure everyone is going to be super normal and chill and not weird at all, even a little bit.
How bad's it going to be?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be, I think people are going to be not chill and they're going to be weirdos.
Couldn't you already get to level 100? I thought you could. This level and cap increase from 90 to 100. Oh, did you freeze? Whoa. Whoa. Oh, God. All right. BRB, hold up. What is happening? Okay, a power outage has occurred. All right, we're gonna try to deal with that, and then we'll see what's going on. Well, that sucks. Yeah, 1 second, folks. Or not, but... Whoa, all right, there we go. Infinity. Hold up. Okay, cool. We're back.
I think it's really weird how I lost power to everything but my router.
That is weird. Okay, well, simplifies it. At the very least, it was just a restart and not like a fucking whole ordeal, because modem reconnection, etc., is usually
It would take a while for me to get back here.
Sweet. Yes. Okay, so
I just spoke to Paige. The house didn't lose power, only the office.
okay, so then it was yes.
So it was
else.
a 1 second brownout. Great. Just good enough to knock all this shit offline. Fuck, I hate that.
Okay, so new jobs, new expansion, new collaborations with 16, but what about Fall Guys?
You know what? You know what's really funny about the Fall Guys collab in FF14? One, it looks great. And second of all, the movement physics in 14 are really exact compared to Fall Guys. So like the FF14 version of Fall Guys is going to be like much easier.
Is it
than
actually
Fall Guys.
Hold up, is it actually playing it like in the system?
Did you not see the trailer?
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude, it's literally Fall Guys recreated in 14's engine.
No kidding.
No, it's not. It's not like a fucking. It's not like here's a hat and a fucking stick. Here, I'll send this to you. Here, you can just skip forward like 30 seconds.
Okay, what do we got here? Hold up. Please quiet down. There we are. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, you're just running obstacle courses.
It's literally just Fall Guys in the engine.
Yeah, I guess any engine can, with basic physics, can support what Fall Guys is trying to do.
Yeah, but like 14s are. I mean, Fall Guys is very physics based and very slidey, and 14s is not. So like,
well, at least
it's gonna be a lot easier.
I mean, they went about this by like in collab form instead of like Fortniting it, right? Which they could have just done, definitely, with like, hey, it's obstacle course challenge. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's this Halloween. That's next week. I don't understand what Fall Guys has to do with Halloween, but
okay. So that was the live letter. Is that the?
Yeah, that was the FanFest keynote, but whatever. It's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, Dawntrail. All right, what else is going on? We talked about the MGS Master Collection. The MGS 4-bit, as well as the weird physical non.
No, we did not talk about the MGS 4-bit.
Oh, well, we talked about the part where Master Collection has the data miners did see references to MGS4.
Yeah, they also saw today. There's the game's launcher has documentation in it, like little lines for slots for MGS4, MGS5, MGA, and MGPW.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, right. Not just 4, 5 Peace Walker.
But MGA, like Acid,
that
would be cool.
That's all I can imagine. But then where's that? Then what about Acid 2?
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it be both?
Yeah. And then the I mean, does that? Hold on. Is that if you get Acid 2 on there, what are you missing? No, that's it. That's it. Yeah. I feel like it would be cool to, like, if you're doing a collection that has all these old classics on it too, like, you might as well throw on the different versions of like some of the older games as well, just for the hell of it. Throw on Ghost Babel,
Portable Ops is in this current collection in the bonus materials. It says something. Oh god, it says something along along the lines of, while not canon, events in it do relate to
really.
like
it gives you like a
both
warning.
ways.
wait. Like before you boot it up, it tells you warning.
No,
this story
like
doesn't
in the
matter.
bonus materials of like history of Metal Gear or whatever. Like Portable Ops is listed as like it informs canon, but isn't necessarily. Like, I'll have to go grab the specific text for it.
Okay. Warning: this game is canon.
But Poops it remains in its strange state.
Warning:
where
this game is as canon as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not gonna be able to find it in time.
That's fine. Yeah, so it's that time of fucking year again where hey, Nintendo's new community tournament guidelines in the UK have been released, in which Nintendo steps out to basically go fuck tournaments and everything involving anything with our products.
I'm glad they finally took a stance.
I feel like we already heard this story twice before, maybe 3 times. I definitely am having severe deja vu with Nintendo comes out anti-tournament.
Well, yeah, so what happens is they come out with anti-tournament A, and then people keep having tournaments. Which leads to them coming out with anti-tournament B.
Right. This time we might actually
forth
sue
and
you.
So far.
For reals. Yeah, so the TLDR, nintendo.co.uk, community tournament guidelines. Any tournament run by an individual cannot be made for profit, cannot have more than 200 entrants, or have sponsors, or sell food or drinks. And if any third-party content is used, you need explicit permission from said third parties. And a tournament run by any organization has to go through the official licensing application with Nintendo, or else they'll sue you. And this does include school charities.
You know, good.
Fuck it.
You know, I'm done.
Also,
I'm
online
done.
as offline as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
you know what? Yeah.
Burn it
Good.
all. Yeah.
Stop playing
Who
your
needs
Nintendo games in groups.
Stop. Don't have fun together. Yeah, there you go. Right. That's it.
I have heard so many fucking variations of this for like 15 years that, like, you know what it might finally do. You know, like, the most annoying part about all of it forever is some guy is reading this and he is drafting up a video for his YouTube channel right now going, Nintendo needs to support organizers, Melee forever. And I just stop. They're never going to do it. Ever. They're never going to do it. How stupid are you?
So I guess, look, every time there's something like this, there's 2 phases, right? There's here's the announcement of the fucking thing, and then there's here's the actual person that's about to get sued for having a tournament moment, right?
Yeah.
Do they pull the trigger on this announcement? We'll have to fucking
sue every single person that can reach out and touch a copy of Smash Brothers without moving from where they are right now. I think that if you're sitting in your desk and you can reach out and touch Smash Brothers, jail.
Okay. Lawsuit
Right to jail.
Immediately. Yeah. By booting the game up, you get a cease and desist sent straight to your house.
Absolutely.
Okay. Don't take it down from the eShop, though.
No.
Okay. It's good. This makes sense. I'm on board.
This is both like surprising in its depth, but also completely not surprising because it's Nintendo. Like, escalating it to like don't sell food or drink, like is hilarious. That's wild.
Starve. Starve, children.
But no, really, like Nintendo really, they're extraordinarily clear. Don't have tournaments of our games. Stop it.
I mean, the thing is that it's like, or go through our like official licensing agreement,
bullshit.
yada yada, and it's like,
No.
it's one thing to be just like aggressively like tournament agnostic, like we don't give a fuck, leave, like we don't care, we will never support you.
Everything is agnostic to some degree. They just ignore whatever the fuck's going on.
Pretty much. But then to come out aggressively anti like the people who were playing your game, yeah, like that's wild. That is wild. It's again, and I'm sure to them it's like, no, well, just as long as you go through our channels, it'll be fine. Which, you know,
I bet you those channels aren't real. I bet you the channels don't work.
It prints out a fax that goes right to a shredder.
Yeah.
It's just for the gesture. It could have just deleted it digitally, but no, we need a physical manifestation of our hatred. Yeah, I mean, again, we've had versions of this story before, and I'm just going to be like, all right, well, let's see when they actually, you know, if and when they actually start fucking suing people for having a goddamn tournament. Like, I'm curious if it's going to go that far.
I will say that this is I have made every joke under the sun at the expense of the Smash Brothers player. But I actually don't want to do that, because the usual response to this level of insane targeted negative anti-endorsement would be, wow, fuck this, I'm gonna go learn a different game, right? That at least doesn't attack me, right? That at least the company isn't like threatening me. But there's like a really, like, Nintendo creates this super intense emotional tie. Like there's a
Sora
person,
and Minecraft Steve are in the game.
Yeah.
And they can fight each other. What?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not outside the bounds of your house, loser.
Well, we can get online and quietly and then see what's up.
Don't talk.
We can be very, very quiet.
Also, Steve is banned in a lot of places, so you actually can't.
That's true too. Steve is in fact banned in a lot of places, but regardless,
but like, yeah, the usual thing is like, I would go do something else, like Dungeons and Dragons. We saw tons of people go to Pathfinder or like Vampire or, you know, whatever. But there's this, like, Nintendo just creates this like almost video game Disney adult scenario in a lot of people, where it's Nintendo. Nintendo, though, I love it, and it's like, just fucking play Street Fighter or Guilty Gear or Tekken.
No, but
whatever, like.
Well, no, the answer would be like, in a lot of cases, it'd be like, well, I would actually be playing, I suppose, like Mario Kart or Tears of the Kingdom or something else, like, in the family, you know. Yeah, it's the Oscars, it's the premiere, it's the undefeatable main spotlight. It can never be, it'll never be something that people are like, yeah, all right, well, fuck this, you've pissed in my Cheerios one too many times, because that's Sora, dude, you know. What I find baffling, though, for me, is the fact that I'm like, the weird dance that they do where they occasionally give a fuck about a tournament or occasionally do endorse something or
that
do official thing. It's so weird and waffly, where it's like, so what is happening? What? Sometimes you're in, sometimes you're out, sometimes you're down, and sometimes you're like trying to scorch the earth and salt it behind you. I don't understand why the weirdness where you're sometimes trying and only to back out and then back out harder than you've ever gone in, you know?
You know what this makes me think of? It makes me think, I don't know if you see people making fun of this on social media, Wooly, but every now and then your YouTube recommendations will be like, gaming is dying and here's why, and it's like a photo of like 4 Call of Duty games. and it's a guy's,
I haven't seen that, no.
And it's a video about like Battlefield, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty. They're all bad. Where'd all the good video games go? Gaming's
Gotcha.
worse than
Gaming's
it's ever
over.
been.
Yep.
And you're just like, play
That's
anything
no.
else.
Shut up.
Play anything else.
The shelf is what is at the front when I walk into GameStop, and that's it. That's games. Gaming is whatever's behind the registry when I walk in.
Like that.
It's whatever's on the front
Dude
page
Bro
of the stop
equivalent
of
what you
the
see
shop.
with people who are crazy about Nintendo, in which you're like, hey, cool, quirky new JRPG coming to the Switch. Boo! Where's Mario? A cool, quirky new Mario JRPG coming to the Switch. Like,
Look, you're
fucking relax.
I mean,
people.
you seem to be implying the existence of video games outside of the shit that pops up when I open up Steam, and and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because the only video games that exist are the ones that get Steam pop-ups on boot. So you need to just fucking chill with whatever you're going on about.
I'm sorry.
Fantastic.
It's that thing. It's that stupid fucking soy jack of like thing from Japan. Oh, but
which has been applied like this podcast.
Oh yeah,
us going.
I saw that,
yeah, thing from Japan. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
I don't blame anyone who would apply that to us.
I mean, the first fucking 10 years in front of a microphone have, clearly been... Well, okay. I think there's the fact that, one, before microphones were even involved, we still never shut up about that shit.
That's right.
And two, there's the fact that the reason why we never shut up about it is because everyone we knew only talked about Call of Duty and FIFA... And that was the entirety of your surroundings. So
we can actually roll this back. Like the timing that the original channel showed up, like specifically in the early 360 era, coincided with Japanese video games are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember people going like, one of the reasons I watch you guys is because you're the only channel I can find that will even play Japanese video games at all.
You know, and over time that has now coalesced into this like weeaboo energy where like it's literally that's the only thing you ever lean in and check out or whatever. But before mics were involved, it was just that. It was like this is the opposite of what is drowning in
you know what the worst
anyone else
is?
You know that plays video games is just all that, and it was only that, exclusively.
You know what the absolute worst thing is? The Call of Duty and Battlefield games that came out at that time were so good compared to the ones that are out now.
The shit that we were like, get away from me with that. We're actually the best of the franchise.
I played all of those. We didn't do them on the channel, but I was playing Battlefield all the time.
Oh my god.
Battlefield, Bad Company 2 was incredible. I lost so many hours of my life to it.
That's amazing. It's like, yeah, man. Fucking NFL 2K was so good back then, actually, though. It was the best.
Wally, there was a period in which I played, like, NBA Street, like, every day for, like, a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh my god, sports games are coming back! Wow! Oh.
Played a fuck ton of... Yeah. Went hard on Madden during the SNES N64 era. Got back in with the fucking Sega Sports, you know? That is hilarious. If only you knew. If only you knew then what you know now.
Oh, man.
Well, in any case,
there are a huge amount of people listening to this who don't understand that there used to be a time period in which sports games were not just good, they were like some of the best games you could play, period.
Yeah.
That era was 1995 to 2002? 3?
The ability to use the C stick to like stiff arm or to have a spin off the block button while controlling a running back was an incredible innovation. Lowering the anyway, whatever. Those features that were legitimately like, oh my god, you can do what now?
Yeah, now if you set me down to play Madden, I just think about galing myself.
I don't even
use your context clues. Well,
okay.
You'll figure it out.
All right. Well, yeah, no. If anything, it's for me. It's just the fact that like these like live service games that come out with a announcement of when their end of service will be on the day that you buy it. Like I think like WWE 2K22 announced that like it's gonna stop being supported as in a couple months time or something like that, and it's like not even a year and a bit. Like your $80 buys you 12 months of content.
My favorite one is every single year when the PC version of every sports game comes out, comes the guy who goes, hey, they forgot to actually update literally anything. There's a patch coming later today that changes the 22 to 23, but they forgot to put it in before the game went live. I think that's happened like 4 years in a row with some of them. It's just ridiculous.
Which brings us to our next story. Gundam Evolution Season 7. God damn it. They announced
the audacity to keep having more seasons,
because I think they already had the content ready to go and they just announced the closure of the service, but they had more seasons planned. So 6 was the one they announced alongside the closure before, and now the final season with Camphor in it is called Season 7 Last Shooting, and I'm like, motherfucker,
that's a great name.
Oh, and then the trailer shows you all the suits and everything, and then you get the Camphor reveal, and then you see the fucking broken RX-78 come down and do the pose, and bam, the last shooting thing. I'm like, what a fucking cool way to go out on a thing that should not be going out. God fucking damn it, Bandai. God, it sucks. Ugh. Yes, it's the coolest way to just flop out the goddamn gate. It'll get me every time because
it feels like petulant X energy. Like on the way out the door, like you didn't know how much you loved me.
But I don't think that's what it is.
You'll be sad when I'm gone.
I think it was just, hey, we had these suits in the pipeline, and let's just put it out, and then that's it. You know, if there were things that were planned to be, because again, it's Gundam. You could last forever just revealing a couple new suits every whatever period. But this is just probably the end of their development line for what they had up to the point where they announced they were going to shut down the service.
They should make a Gunpla game, and the game is about building Gunpla and acquiring Gunpla and making the Gunpla nice, like a painting, like a modeling thing. But the side game is like Papers, Please, where you go and work your dead end garbage job at the Combini.
Not that part, but Breaker does exist.
You try and work the absolute minimum of amount of hours to eat food and not die while still getting as many Gunpla as you can.
I mean, once you fall all the way off, of course, you gotta enter the dark world of like kit bashing, and once you go too deep into,
where you come on the thing, or
no, not hot glue.
Okay.
No, kit bashing is where you put the wrong things together with the parts that don't fit, right?
That sounds like you come on it.
No, you put a Zaku head on a gym body, for example. But really, the deep end is when you start 3D printing non-official parts to make your own high quality.
Non-official.
You
can't do that.
You tell that to Kamiya. he got fucking non-official Gundam suits made, 3D printed, that are more detailed than the shit they sell you, and now you're gonna get the fucking Bandai cops at your door.
Did you see the fucking screen grab going around?
Yep. I watched it. Yeah. I was like, should I answer the bad questions, the negative questions too? And so it was like, you've barely directed anything except
you haven't
directed a game except for maybe Bayo 3, and it wasn't even
in the past
good.
5 years, and it's not even that good.
Just
the look on his fucking face.
He right at the end he read that out, you know.
Oh my god,
incredible!
It's my favorite.
That's wild. That's fucking wild.
What did he say?
He just kind of asked. He kind of went like, I think he said like, no, wait, I worked on Soul Cresta, and I think something else. I think he said actually I worked on Soul Cresta. And another thing, you know, but he was just kind of just like asking off camera, like, should I go into this, you know? Yeah, incredible.
It's so rare that you get to see a creative in any field have to face somebody saying that their shit sucks. That's one of the rarest interactions, and it's always hilarious.
But it's also the fact that, like, from Twitter, it's also like because everyone's tangible.
I can't block this piece of paper.
You know, but it's so no, but like you can block everyone in your comments too, I suppose. But like there was another bit where fuck, what was it? Shit, it was a question right before that where, oh yeah, someone was like, how come you seem to get really negative towards other Platinum projects that you're not involved with whenever they get released or so, you know? And he's like, is that a thing? I don't think that's really a thing, but I do admit, like, when I look at Nier, I feel jealousy.
Oh,
you know, he said something to that effect. So
hey, we've got breaking Gundam based news in the chat.
Ruh-roh.
Apparently something called Gundam Metaverse Project leaked the 3D printing files of multiple Gundam model kits, including ones that have yet to come out.
Yeah, Josh told me about it actually. Yeah, they leaked the pieces that you could 3D print for some upcoming shit. That happened last week. Ruh-roh. Again, the hardest of hardcore who are 3D printing are already out there just doing the shit of their favorite suits anyways. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a big fucking fuck up. They put the actual CAD files out, so anyone that grabs them is just like, print, go. You wouldn't download a Gundam, or would you?
Most people would.
You can.
Most people in Gundam would download Gundams.
They called it They fucking called it Last Shooting, dude. They called it the Last Shooting.
Bro, I love this. I love, like, awkwardly translated wordisms.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm doing the meme. I'm soy jacking about Japan. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Darn.
And, I guess in terms of leaks, on that note, it's a small one, but the Capcom leak group from 2 years ago
they got arrested.
They got caught. Ragnar Locker ransomware.
That's crazy.
They arrested the leader and they shut the group down. So they got a bunch of other businesses too. Like it obviously wasn't like just gaming stuff related, but yeah. Wild. And I think there was somewhere I was reading that it's like there's their track record or something. There's something that implied that like there's a lot of companies that just paid, you know,
Would assume most did
to get their fucking data, their shit back, and Like went like, yep, we don't want to deal with it. You got us. Here
Like
you go.
like if somebody was like, Pat, I'm gonna burn your house down unless you give me $10. I'm gonna be like, you know what? All right, let me get my wallet.
My wallet's in the car.
Right? Like, yeah, all right. Like companies, depending on what gets locked up, they're like, well, we're going to be put back 6 months or $1 million. Which of those is a higher number?
Mm-hmm. I think they asked for a little bit more than that, but
well, no, I'm inventing
sure.
words out of my ass.
All right, let's take some letters.
All right, if you want to send in a letter, send it to castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. That's castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. Please send in a good letter that we can read quickly so that we can have a good discussion about your good letter. If you're writing a letter and you're going, oh, I think this might be a bad letter, stop.
All right, here's one coming in. Hello. So in the Korean online PvP game Crazy Arcade, there used to be a consumable item you could purchase with premium currency called the Kick Effect.
That's dirty
or excuse me, Kick Reflect. This would allow you to reflect being kicked from a lobby and make the leader of the lobby who kicked you get kicked out of the room instead. Now, you might think, wow, that's scummy, but on top...
sure is.
But on top of all that, they also started selling something called Super Lobby Leader, which allowed you to reflect said reflect, allowing you to then kick the person normally again. Fun times.
Oh my god, this is like stranding all the battle royale kids on the island and then selling them knives.
How much does your game hate you?
Oh, that's really impressive. That's really impressive.
Wow. Be a shit and spend money to not get kicked out. So
I feel like
we enable the BM and then enable the BM enabling or countering tech. What a fucking...
This is a Korean arcade game, so this is in person?
Hold on. I just clicked away. It's called Crazy Arcade, but I don't think it's an actual arcade game. It's an online PvP game.
Online. Okay, this has to be online because I'm just thinking like Americans at an arcade playing this, that would escalate to gun violence. that would
Knives out.
Like no one's going to take any of this
Knives
shit
out.
lying down.
Yeah, no. Online PvP. And just like you have to pay extra to get control of your fucking. I mean, it's the actual version. I assume perhaps maybe this person was inspired by the bit about paying to reblock the short people from your fucking Tinder. You know, incredible.
That's genuinely amazing.
Incredible. All right. Here's one coming in from Tarage. Or Tarage, who says, I'm not clever enough to think of nicknames. Hi. Heard you both talking about Baldur's Gate 3 and how great it is, and I'm interested in trying it as I love RPGs, but I'm afraid to actually play it because of how it handles custom characters. I read and recall Pat talking about how if you use a custom character, not one of the default ones, that you have to deal with Dark Urge, and if you ignore it too often, it forces you to do horrible things. I'm worried that my natural inclination to avoid random murder will force me down this path unintentionally. What do you suggest? Sounds like a misunderstanding.
Dark Urge is one of the choosable origins. You just get to change what they look like. If you don't want to deal with any of that shit at all, play custom character, also known as a TAV.
So once you look at the character, if you get a chance to look at how the character creation screen looks, it'll make a lot of sense. Because I was confused as well until I saw it. And it was like, here, select one of these pre-existing NPCs who you're going to find in the world that are part of your party. And Dark Urge is a custom NPC that you can also play as with a backstory. Or... a different tab entirely is just a custom character.
It's just completely custom,
not connected to any of that stuff. So you don't have to do Dark Urge. But like, yeah, when we were first discussing it, I was like, oh, custom and Dark Urge are one and the same, you know?
Yeah. That's not, yeah. So it's It's the division with Dark Urge sitting right in the middle of the two concepts makes it like actually fairly complicated. Right up until you look at it on the actual character select screen. Like it's one of those things that it's like it's kind of pointless to actually explain it with your words. Just look at the fucking screen, and you'll get it once you're there.
Abyss Seiya says, hello, long-shaped main character 1 and round-shaped main character 2.
Oh, man.
This year has been so busy with games that I took a weekend to blast through RE4 Remake. Loved it. Don't have any real complaints, not even to what my question follows up on. But since I'm on an RE kick, it got me thinking. The most common critique with the good, mid, and bad RE games is always, it's great until I leave the starting area, and then it's okay, fine, bad, kill me, please.
Yep.
There's a game series. Is there a game series with the iconic location, good part, that you swear by is the last or later section of the game? It doesn't have to be specifically the opposite situation where the start is bad or mid. Greetings from a fairly new RE fan. Yeah, that's an interesting one. What are the
Souls games and Resident Evil all have the exact same trajectory, where the beginning is like, oh, it's incredible, and it's just as it goes down. How far it goes down is up to the particular game.
I think the further you get into near games, the better they get in a direct line.
I would agree.
Direct correlation. They escalate to unbelievable status right before the end.
I would cheat and say that Final Fantasy XIV has the opposite graph.
Oh.
Where the worst shit is right up front at the beginning.
Okay.
Which is great if you play it as every single thing comes out.
For gameplay grindy reasons or for story reasons?
The interestingness, the visual variety and creativity that goes into the environments, the plots, the mechanics, the encounters. Like it is a straight line up.
But because they figured that shit out later, it took them a while to get perfected on that.
No, it's just every single one is made with the expertise of making the last one.
Right. I mean, that's basically what I mean. Yeah, that's
the FF14 is actually FF14 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in the works here, and I'm gonna say that Katamari Damacy games also end on the strongest notes.
Oh yeah, you get pretty nuts. You know?
The final bits of Katamari are fucking incredible.
I'm in space.
So good. Yeah, there you go. All right. Last one. Let's take one here. Johnny Desk says, hello, Pativa and Wolindica.
What's up?
Nice. Right. Hey, guys, I run errands for this lady in SoCal, and it involves going to dispos on occasion and making some big-ass orders. Dispensaries. I'm taken there. So
he's buying a lot of weed.
Since they're legal here, they're taxed to fuck, and it makes everything expensive. So they have a point system to keep customers. When I'm doing these runs, I'm spending $200 on her, and which she does reimburse me for while getting those points. Then after a few months, I can go to the store I frequent for the orders that have a no tax Tuesday. So combining the no tax with all the points gets me nearly $100 purchases for just about free without actually spending. Is this a hustle or a scam?
No, that's not even, that's neither. That's, you're doing a service for somebody and you're getting something out of it.
If it's basically like going to Subway with a points card and buying someone Subway sandwiches, but you're collecting the points off the points card.
Yeah, if I'm like, hey, can you go get me a Subway sandwich? I'll reimburse you. But then they punch it with their card. That's they got reimbursed for them physically going down there.
Yeah, it's a bonus.
Now I'll tell you
if it was. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what's really a scam. You know how you get a points card for the grocery store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, would you like to use your points card? No, thanks. Okay, cool. I'll use mine from behind the cash. Now that's a fucking racket.
Ooh, that doesn't feel good at all.
That's not true, Wooly. It feels great.
Oh, man. Yo. Okay. So every time you go to the pharmacy here, it's called Pharmaprix, right? And they always ask you, as they're mandated to, do you have your Optimum card? And you always go, no, I'm not going to fucking sign up for this shit. Leave me alone. But if they went, okay, cool, no problem, and then they pulled out theirs and took the points, are you fucking kidding me? Are you gone again? God damn it. I thought you were just holding that fucking face. I thought you were pogging or mogging. All right. BRB? BRB. Yeah, all right. God damn it. All right, that's 3 deaths in one day, twice resurrected. Okay, well, anyways, I was just saying that if you every time you go to Pharmaprix, the pharmacy here, and they go, "Do you have your Optimum card?" and you go, "No, fuck no, why would I?" If someone pulled one out and took the points instead, that would feel way worse than just saying, "No, I don't want your dumb, stupid program card."
Hey, man, you're just leaving points on the table.
God, shit, like air miles.
You don't want those points?
Oh, yeah. That would actually push me to maybe sign up. Is watching someone else be like,
well, you don't want somebody to get your Canadian tire dollars that you're saying no to?
Fuck, man. Yeah, Canadian Tire money. I mean, taking my can for the trade back or my bottle or whatever is one thing, but just these are loyalty points that you want them. I'm doing something I know something you don't know about these points.
Hey,
you're lost, bro.
If you don't want them, then it's free money to someone else.
That's a bad feeling. That I don't like that at all. That's sinister.
No, don't think with your heart. Think with your brain. You're saying you'd rather the money disappear than go to anyone. You would rather both people have nothing than not you have something.
At the same time, if the loyalty program was like some type of major discount on not extra things, but on the things you were getting, that you don't want to fucking like, you should, then the person paying you should know. Right? Like because then that's getting closer to like, hey, can you go buy this stuff for me? And then you walk in and it turns out it's actually cheaper this time because there's a price reduction or a discount sale. And then you took the full money and then didn't give them the change properly, you know?
They gave me the money to buy the things. I bought them the things. I kept the money. That was the transaction.
Okay, now you're losing me.
What?
Me. No. The bonus. If you get your thing plus bonus on the loyalty, then we're in the clear. We're in hustle territory. If it's a subtraction where you should get cash back, now we're getting into scam territory.
Hey, listen. Here's $100 for 2 pizzas. $100 for
what?
3-4 pizzas? Let's say 4 pizzas, right?
Okay, but and I know what the price usually is, and this usually covers it.
Okay, then you go steal 4 pizzas and keep the $100. I don't care. I got my pizzas.
Okay. All right. No. Actually, completely and utterly no.
No?
Fuck you. But
where's the problem?
How can you prove it even? Who's to say? Are you eating pizza? Did you enjoy it? Then shut the fuck up, right?
I gave you money. Pizza showed up. Happy me. Pizza mouth.
I cannot. I will not abide. I will not. All right. That's fine.